Oh, what a gorgeous Saturday evening here in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. We are set for baseball, another matchup of the top two teams in the National League West as the Diamondbacks host the Colorado Rockies. Zack Greinke on the mound against the Rockies lefty Tyler Anderson, and the roof is open. We're set for D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly along the way. The second of a three-game series, the D-backs and the Rockies. And Bob, Zack Greinke, for the first time in three starts, will pitch against someone other than the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, that's too bad, because Zack has absolutely dominated the Padres in his last two starts. 14 innings pitched, 11 hits surrendered. Only one of those was not a single. The home run he gave up to Ibar, the only extra base hit, 2 earned runs, 17 punch outs against 1 walk. Rockies offense a lot different than the Padres, but if he continues to execute pitches the way he did against San Diego, he'll be just fine.
Well, as you mentioned, it's a lineup a little more formidable than the one the Padres put out there, and he's had problems with Trevor Story in the past.
Yeah, 2 home runs opening day last season. You see the career numbers for Story against Zack Greinke, and in this ballpark, Trevor Story in 32 at-bats has hit 6 home runs. Got to keep him in the yard.
And Story homered last night against Robbie Ray. We are just about set to go. The Diamondbacks and the Rockies. First pitch is coming up shortly on Fox Sports Arizona. Baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealer, where you get more standard features for less money. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. By Gigablast Internet from Cox. Welcome to the Gig Life and by State Farm. State Farm is here to help life go right. Talk to an agent today or call 1-800-STATE-FARM. What a night to be at Chase Field. Jeff Mathis and Zach Greinke, the battery for the Diamondbacks tonight. Zach 2-2 in 5 starts, set to take on the Colorado Rockies. First pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Chase Field for some D-backs baseball. Diamondbacks 11-4 at home this year. 5-3 on this current homestand with 2 more to play against the Rockies. And here's a look at your starting lineup for Colorado, brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Charlie Blackmon once again leading it off out in center field. DJ LeMahieu back in the lineup at second base. Nolan Arenado at third base. Carlos Gonzalez out in right field. Former D-back Mark Reynolds down at first base. Another former D-back, Gerardo Parra, out in left field. That guy that we talked about in the open, Trevor Story, at shortstop batting 7th. Tony Walters doing the catching tonight. And Tyler Anderson on the mound.
Your Ram Truck starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks is the right-hander Zach Greinke. 2-2 in 5 starts, a 2.93 ERA. Zach, compared to last year, the walks are down, the strikeouts are up. He just struck out 11 Padres without a walk in his last start on Monday.
We mentioned back-to-back starts against the Padres, and Zach pretty much dominated that young lineup, but his execution of pitches, I don't think it would have mattered who the opponent was. He was just executing pitch after pitch. The slider was devastating in both those starts against the Padres.
All right, on defense for the D-backs is brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
Chris Owings patrolling right field tonight. A.J. Pollock out in center. Yasmani Tomas in left. It'll be Jake Lamb and Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Brandon Drury, Paul Goldschmidt on the right side of the infield. Jeff Mathis doing the catching for right-hander Zach Greinke.
Mike Estabrook is our plate umpire tonight. He'll have the balls and strikes. The crew chief Jerry Lane is at first base. Marvin Hudson at second. And Toby Basner at third. Got to be careful with Charlie Blackmon. He's got 1 leadoff home run already this year. He led baseball with 10 leadoff homers last season. There's a strike and we're underway. Blackmon 302 with 7 homers. He leads the Rockies with 24 RBIs. Colorado off to a 15-9 start, leading the division. It's the 3rd best start in Colorado history. under first-year skipper Bud Black, the longtime Padres manager. One and two.
Well, you know, with Bud Black as the manager of the Colorado Rockies, there will be an increased emphasis on the pitching game. I think some of the past managers, all they really worried about was, can we score 10 or 12 runs a game? Because we're going to give up 10 or 12 runs a game. But Buddy Black, pitching coach long before he became a manager, really has a handle on that mound out there in the middle of the field.
Mathis wants that fastball up. Blackman chases it. First strikeout for Greinke.
Elevated fastball. That's going to be the pitch of 2017.
Seems to be.
Yeah. Hitters are so conditioned to look down, down, down. Pitchers are so conditioned to keep the ball down that rising four-seam fastball at the top of the zone has been a great weapon for a lot of D-backs pitchers.
DJ LeMahieu flied out as a pinch hitter in his only at bat last night. He's off to a .267 start with 1 home run.
Well, that's one of the prettier bats we've seen this year. It looks kind of like a root beer barrel.
You're right.
Multi-tone brown. Yeah, look at that.
LeMahieu, last year's National League batting champion. He hit .348. Greinke jumps ahead 0-2. Zach outstanding in his start Monday here against the Padres. As we mentioned, 1 run, 6 hits allowed in 6 innings. He struck out 11 and did not walk a batter. Ooh, that fastball just missed. It's 1-2. Zach in that start made an extra effort really to mix things up and give the Padres a different look, having just faced them in his previous outing in San Diego. That slider was really sharp, he felt, for the 2nd straight start. Makes his fastball better when he's got that good slider.
Yeah, and there was nothing sweeping or slow about that slider. He was throwing it hard and had a lot of downward action. It almost looked like a split finger at times.
2 balls and 2 strikes on the Rockies second baseman. Right back to that Gold Glove.
Always in such great fielding position after he lets that ball go. That's a routine play for Zach out there on the mound.
And you can see the label on that glove, that Rawlings label. It's got some gold around it. When you've won a Gold Glove like Zach has, and he's won a couple, that's something you get to carry with you the rest of your career. And he just showed you why.
Well, I can think of a whole bunch of National League pitchers that would have been hit by that line drive. Just because they're not in good fielding position after they let it go. But Zach Greinke always becomes a defender as soon as he lets that ball go.
Nolan Arenado jumps on the first pitch. Popped it up to second base. Brandon Drury's there. And how about a nice quick 1-2-3 inning for Zach Greinke. Diamondbacks coming up. Starting pitcher for the Rockies, it's the lefty Tyler Anderson. Anderson has 1 win in 5 starts this year, an ERA that's north of 7. He won at Milwaukee in his first start this year, but he's winless in his last 4 appearances.
He's a fastball cutter changeup pitcher. That's pretty much the extent of his arsenal. Occasionally on the cutter he'll get around it a little bit more. It looks more like a slider, but the whole key to Tyler Anderson's game is keeping the ball down.
Take a look at the lineup for Torey Lovullo's Diamondbacks. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
A lot of red hot hitters in this lineup, starting with A.J. Pollock at the top. He'll be out in center field. Chris Owings in right field. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Jake Lamb down at third. Yasmani Tomas will be out in left field. Brandon Drury at second base. Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Jeff Mathis doing the catching for right-hander Zach Greinke.
A.J. last night, single, walked, scored a run, stole 2 bases. Your typical night at the office for A.J. Pollock.
Oh,
he's already got 9 steals and he takes strike 1. A.J. now hitting .316. He's homered twice.
Some kind of delivery that Anderson features out there.
He's got a hitch in his giddy up and a very, very good changeup.
And he'll use the changeup on left-handed hitters as well. A lot of times a left-handed pitcher hesitates to throw that changeup to left-handed hitters, but that's a big part of his arsenal to both righties and lefties.
That's hard hit into right field. A leadoff single for A.J. Pollock. Our eye on defense for the Rockies, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Same outfield as yesterday. Blackman in center, Parra in left, Gonzalez over in right field. Nolan Arenado at third base, Trevor Story at shortstop, DJ LeMahieu back in the lineup at second base. Mark Reynolds over at first base. Tony Walters doing the catching today for left-hander Tyler Anderson.
Well, David Peralta sits tonight against the lefty Anderson. So Chris Owings batting second and playing right field. On base twice last night. He walked, singled, stole a base. Diamondbacks have been running wild on this homestand. And don't think that escapes the attention of Tyler Anderson.
Even on the slide step, he has that funky little kick with the right leg. Unloaded that one very quickly to home plate out of a slide step, but still incorporated that choreographed little kick with the right foot.
D-backs faced Tyler Anderson twice last year. First time at Coors Field in June. He pitched well, gave up just 2 runs in 5 2/3. Had 8 strikeouts. But Anderson was hit hard here at Chase Field in September. Gave up 6 runs, 9 hits, lasted only 4 1/3. He's a first-round pick by the Rockies in the 2011 draft out of the University of Oregon. He was the 20th overall selection in that draft.
That's that right foot. A little extra hang there as he gets down about knee level and then pumps it a couple times. Finally does stride toward his target. That last delivery, 1-9-2 to home plate.
Little slow.
Yeah.
1-3 is about average, right?
Yeah. He was much quicker out of the slide step.
Owings hits one at Gerardo Parra in left. AJ is going to have to hustle back to the bag. Parra throws it all the way to first, and we're used to that here from Gerardo Parra.
That's just a showcase. Want to keep his arms loose.
Here comes Goldie. 321 for homers. He's tied with Bryce Harper for the major league lead in walks. The OPS now over 1,000. Goldie 13 hits and 13 RBIs on this homestand. He's homered twice. Begins tonight with an 8-game hitting streak. walked and had an RBI single in last night's series opener. Since April 21st, 3 players in this game among the hottest in baseball. Peralta sitting out tonight. Walters behind the plate for the Rockies. I mentioned that hitch in his giddy up. Anderson, you know, because he's a lefty, he really does look a lot like Clayton Kershaw with the way he delivers the baseball. Now, obviously, he doesn't pitch like Kershaw, but they deliver the baseball very similar ways. That right knee shoots straight up, just like Kershaw does. Then there's that pregnant pause. And the leg drops back down, follows through. He's always pitched like this. It's a sort of similar to Kershaw or Hector Santiago.
With all these unusual deliveries, you need a choreographer more than a pitching coach.
1 2 3 kick, 1 2 3 kick, and left and right. But Kershaw, with that motion there, will bring his arm and his glove all the way straight over his head. That's the biggest difference. Anderson will stop at about chest level. Another guy who will throw an off-speed pitch when he's behind in the count. Anderson has done that more than almost any other pitcher in the big leagues. Really relies on that changeup. Went to the fastball that time and missed. It's 3-1.
This is changeup on a 3-1 count.
AJ holds. Goldie lays off and draws yet another walk. The major league leader. D-backs have 2 on and 1 out for Jake Lamb. Jake back in the lineup tonight after a night off last night. 291 and 4 homers. He's knocked in 19 runs. Now Anderson really relies on that changeup, but against lefties he will have a breaking ball. You'll see a little bit of that slider more often. Pollock at second and Goldie at first. Fastball missed. It's 1-0.
AJ Pollock stole third base twice in the ball game last night. The first time was part of a double steal along with Chris Owings, who was on at first base at the time.
This is a strength for Anderson. He generates a lot of ground balls against left-hand batters. And he's looking for one here to get that double play and escape trouble, but he's behind on Lamb 2-0. Jake 5 for 25 versus lefties this year. He's doubled twice off left-handers. He had the night off last night against the lefty. Tonight it's David Peralta. Play on at second and AJ is back in time.
I can still hear Gracie's voice in the dugout when a pitcher gets so overly concerned with a base runner. Don't forget about that hitter. You get so concerned with shortening up that lead out there at second base, making sure AJ doesn't steal third, that you make a mistake to the guy standing there with a lumber in his hand.
Dangerous against this hitter. Here's the 2-0. There go the runners. Walters throws to third, and AJ's in there. Stolen base number 10 for AJ Pollock, number 7 for Paul Goldschmidt. Another double steal by the Diamondbacks.
The 1-9 delivery to home plate. Walters has a clear throwing lane down to Arenado at third base, but AJ Pollock just got a great jump. Man, is he good at that.
Goldie's 7 for 7 on the year. 2-2 now on Jake Lamb. this homestand has knocked in 5 runs in 6 games. He's doubled and homered. AJ at third, Goldie at second, 1 out.
Must have hit the knob of the bat.
Hey, that was odd. Let's see. Yeah, it did. Thank goodness. No indication at all from Jake that it was hit by the pitch.
Jake's one of those guys that gets the bottom hand down over the knob a little bit. So very easily could have caught his hand right there, but it looked like he must have caught all knob of the bat because Jake didn't react, didn't shake his hand.
Now he's using that axe handle bat. Well, the bottom of that bat is shaped like an axe handle. There is no circular knob on the bottom. We've seen that before. A little more comfortable for him. Two down. First strikeout for Anderson.
Yeah, that's that cutter we talked about occasionally, especially against left-handers. He'll get around it a little bit more, make it more like a slider. That one had a lot of sweeping action away from Jake Lang.
Oh, an RBI chance for Yasmani Tomas. 2 on, 2 out. Yasmani 0 for 4 last night, now hitting .293. He leads the Diamondbacks with 5 homers. Yasmani doing a lot of gardening up there. And now we're set to go. This is a very advantageous matchup for the Diamondbacks. Comes in with a fastball but missed. It's 1-0. Yasmani has seen Anderson before, and he's 4 for 6 against the Rocky lefty.
With 2 doubles.
Tomas hit over .360 against lefties last year. Change up behind in the count, drops it in for a strike, and it's 1-1.
That double steal that we saw by Pollock and Goldie now gives the Diamondbacks 32 steals, leading the major leagues. The next closest team is the Milwaukee Brewers with 23.
Wow. Well, they do it 2 at a time, the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
All right, now.
1-2. Went back to the changeup. Already a 20-pitch inning for the lefty Tyler Anderson. Roof is open tonight. The outfield panels are closed. You couldn't ask for a more comfortable evening at the ballpark than what we have tonight. It is just gorgeous here, and now we have to have a follow-up meeting. What'd you say the first time? Sounds like me talking to our producer, Brad the Big Dog Weimer.
They changed their mind before Tony Walters could get back behind home plate. Wait a minute. Let's reconsider that.
Second thought. One and two. Just got a piece. That's 3 consecutive changeups he's thrown to Tomas since it was 1-0. That is his bread and butter pitch. Brandon Drury would be next. Came in with a fastball, got him to pop it up shallow right center. Blackman takes it. Diamondbacks strand 2. We are scoreless after 1 at Chase Field.
Carlos Gonzalez leading it off for the Colorado Rockies, which leads us into our Valley Honda dealers key to the ball game today. Check your cargo.
You mean like clutch cargo?
Yeah, a lot like clutch cargo. 382 with 4 home runs lifetime against Zach Greinke.
Carlos Gonzalez leads off the second against Greinke, who had a 1-2-3-10 pitch first, and there's a strike. It's 0-1.
Clutch cargo. That's good pull right there. That's the one they had the mouth. It was an animated kind of a cartoon show, but there was an actual human mouth that said the words.
He came on, I think, right after Johnny Quest.
Right before the Three Stooges.
Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard. 1-1.
Now, Three Stooges aside, this guy's a dangerous hitter and has had good success against Zach Greinke. Not many hitters in the major leagues can boast those kind of numbers.
Cargo single, doubled, had an RBI last night. He's hit safely in 6 of his last 7 games. Greinke ahead 1-2. That's the slider. Well, the way Gonzalez catches up to fastballs, even hard fastballs, he sees a lot of sliders, curveballs, changeups. He's been hitting fastballs, even fastballs away very well. Not many good spots to throw him a fastball. Trying to get one in there. Fouled it off. It stays 1-2.
At times his swing can get a little bit long from the left side. The guys try to run cutters in on his hands or back him off the plate with a sinking fastball that comes back to the inside corner. But you better make sure you get it in there far enough.
Interesting here. Cargo sees a lot of defensive shifts against him. He's top 10 in baseball in that department, in fact, but no shift here for the D-backs. Drury back on the grass at second. And Greinke bounces a curveball up there. It's 2-2. Boy, the Diamondbacks shift as often as any team that we've seen, but nothing here against Cargo. That's a little interesting.
It could have something to do with Zach Greinke on the mound. Sometimes a guy knows how he's going to attack an opposing hitter, and even though his history says he's probably going to hit the ball to the right side on the ground, maybe Zach's going to try to work him away more in this ball game, although everything's been inside this at bat.
Another fastball up and in. 2-2.
Occasionally a pitcher will go against the spray chart. You know, I know this guy's a dead pull hitter when he hits it on the ground, but I'm going to try to sink the ball away from him today. I'm going to throw him change ups away, so let's not shift as drastically as we normally do.
Greinke shakes off Mathis a couple of times. Wanted to go to that curveball but missed, and it's 3-2. Since mid-season last year, Gonzalez has been top 10 in the major leagues in terms of shift frequency against him. And he's worked a full count, 3-2 to lead off the second. Called strike 3. Went back to the fastball and rings up Gonzalez for his second strikeout. Cargo not thrilled with Mike Estabrook back there. Let's have a look.
What's the one pitch he's probably least looking for? Fastball inside and down. That one maybe just a little too far down, but he gets the call from Mike Estabrook behind the plate nonetheless.
Greinke threw 10 pitches to get 3 outs in the first inning. That was an 8-pitch at bat against Cargo to get 1 out. Here's Mark Reynolds, the former Diamondback. First pitch swinging, pops it up to Bob Brenly.
Out of my range.
Reynolds having a great start to the year. 306, 7 homers. He was 0 for 3 last night. He walked and struck out twice. 20 RBIs already. Filling in for the injured Ian Desmond, their big free agent signing in the offseason. In fact, Desmond is here in the Valley this weekend. He's been taking live BP at Coors Field, but now live at bats in extended spring training over at Salt River Fields. And he's been nagging Bud Black for volume. Give me at bats. I want a lot of at bats. He's trying to catch up. So he's playing extended spring yesterday and today. And Bud Black says Desmond is getting real close, closer than you might think, to returning from that hand injury suffered in spring training when he was hit by a pitch.
As you said, he had been working out at Coors Field, but probably not a good idea today.
Look at this.
Wow.
Tomorrow it'll be 85 and sunny there. That's today, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
They were expecting a foot of snow in the Denver area today.
Not so much here. It is just perfect at Chase Field. Reynolds gets a piece of that fastball and stays alive. Still 1-2. Yeah, the Rockies spent $70 million on Ian Desmond to play first base. But he was injured in mid-March. A broken left hand hit by a pitch in a Cactus League game. Reynolds had been signed almost as an afterthought, but boy, he has filled in and done a terrific job. Jeff Mathis hangs on. 3 strikeouts to the first 5 hitters for Zack Greinke.
Stop me if you've heard this before. A high 4-seam fastball. Man, that pitch has become a go-to weapon for just about everybody in the Diamondbacks rotation.
Well, you saw that picture of Coors Field, a foot of snow there today. We are there next weekend. It's going to be 78, 81, and 78 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Just what we ordered.
I don't know how they deal with that down there. Right, and sunshiny evening here. Gerardo Parra, another former Diamondback. Looks at a fastball and it's 0-1. Parra 294, 3 home runs. 0 for 4 last night. That snapped a 7-game hitting streak. Greinke, not a great matchup for Gerardo Parra, who since the start of last season has been chasing a lot of pitches out of the strike zone against right-handers. Like that. Taps it up the line. Tricky play for Greinke. Underhand toss to Goldie. And Zack Greinke has set down all 6 he's faced. No score here at Chase Field.
We have a moment. Let's take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico and Wetzel's Pretzels. On this day in 2006, Albert Pujols set a major league mark for home runs in the month of April with his 14th blast of the month. Hit number 594 in his illustrious career last night for the Angels. Those home run, the 14th home run by Pujols broke a tie with Ken Griffey Jr. of the '97 Mariners and our own Luis Gonzalez in 2001.
Brandon Drury leads off the home half of the second against the lefty Tyler Anderson. See that line at Wetzel's Pretzels?
Yeah.
Boy, that's good stuff down there.
I didn't see Cindy anywhere.
She's late. We just missed, by the way, National Pretzel Day was the other day.
Yeah, I heard that after the fact.
Drury hitting .307 as the staff becomes increasingly unreliable.
It's not like us to miss food holidays, though.
Yeah, well, that's usually you're right on top of those. Brandon Drury, high drive, deep left field. It's gone. His first of the year, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks. left fielder knew there was no chance he was going to get that one. Parra dancing out there in the outfield as it sailed 10 rows over his head.
Tyler Anderson has now given up at least one home run in every start this season. That's a cutter right in the middle of the plate, right on the barrel of Brandon Drury. Nice catch. Oh, I thought he caught it in his hat. He did. Dropped his glasses.
Jumbo Jack, a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink from our friends at Jack in the Box. Nick Ahmed grounds out to shortstop for the first out.
That's good to see.
Brandon Drury. Watch Gerardo Parra in left field as the ball sails over his head. That's a no-doubter. And the ball's going over his head right at this moment.
Now. Yeah.
Just it's out there doing a Zumba class or something. Jeff Mathis, the catcher. Parra's won a couple of Gold Gloves. He knows what he's doing out there. Jeff trying to get it going with the bat. 114, 3 extra base hits on the year. Started twice in the San Diego series, went 0 for 8. Well, you know, watch Tony Walters behind the plate. He reminds me a lot of Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy is really good at making himself small. And Walters, who's a converted middle infielder, they love him now. He's the new #1 catcher. He kind of looks like Lucroy back there. He just sort of shrinks down into a ball.
Yeah, kind of hides behind his mitt almost.
Fastball up and in.
Yeah, Walters relatively new to the position, but I've been very impressed with his receiving skills. He does a really nice job of steadily trying to push those pitches back toward the corner.
Good pitch framer. Mathis gets into a 3-1, and it's gone. Jeff Mathis, his first home run. 2-0 Diamondbacks. Jeff Mathis breaks out of an 0 for 27 slump, his first of the year.
Bust out of a slump right there. He too gets a cutter on the inside part of the plate, gets a lot of backspin on that ball. A couple of no-doubters here in this inning.
Almost hit that one to Lolo's Chicken and Waffles. Zach Greinke. Jumbo Jack, a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink at Jack in the Box. Now 8 home runs given up this year by Tyler Anderson. He's on his way to becoming a Jared Weaver-like in that department. Greinke 1 for 10 this year. See if that'll scare him off that cutter to right-hand hitters.
He's just not getting it to the spot. He's leaving him out over the plate, and cutters out over the plate are very hittable.
Behind on Greinke, 3-0.
Boy, and that had to really feel good for Jeff Mathis. I don't care how good you are behind the plate or in the clubhouse or calling a game. You want to contribute offensively, and it's been a long, slow stretch for Jeff Mathis until that home run.
Well, Anderson gives up 2 home runs in the inning and then walks the pitcher. Yeah, Jeff, you go back to opening day against the Giants. Jeff was one of the hitting stars of that ball game, had 3 hits in that game, but since opening day he'd gone 2 for 40. So he needed that in a big way. Steve Foster, the pitching coach, out to the mound. Anderson has now walked 2, given up 2 home runs. But as they always say, the solo homers don't beat you unless you give up, you know, like 6 or 7 of them.
Rally killers here. The solo home runs. Nobody on base. Pitchers in the windup. take a few more of those rally killers.
Well, you got the big boys coming up now. AJ singled and stole a base to lead off the ball game. His 10th steal this year, and already his 3rd in the series. Beautiful night at the ballpark in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. How about this? AJ, counting tonight in his last dozen games, has 22 hits, and he scored 12 runs. That's production from your leadoff man. Changeup behind in the count. That's the pattern with Anderson. 1-1 now.
We'll talk about production. The first 17 games this season, the Diamondbacks hit 14 home runs. This is the 9th game of this homestand. They've hit 15.
Gonna have to talk to Jeff about his hairstyle. Somebody went in. He went into a barbershop and said, "Give me the Mo Howard." Speaking of the Three Stooges.
Well, that's one thing. I don't know any catchers that are really too concerned with what their hair looks like during the game.
Nor should they be.
Unlike the pitchers, you know, who can go back there between innings and towel off and fluff up and
quaff, as it were. 1-2 on AJ. Trying to get that fastball in there again. Fouled it off. Reynolds will have a look, but it's in the seats. Best hair game I think we've seen, other than Shelby. I go back to Matt Davidson. Remember Matt Davidson?
Oh, yeah.
He had hair like Aquaman.
Pretty tough to beat that dude.
Yeah, he's having a good year with the White Sox. Carter missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Funny to see AJ hitting so well to start the year. He did not have a good spring. He hit about $140 this spring and missed a couple of weeks after tweaking a groin muscle. But he thinks that may have been a blessing in disguise. Spent a lot of time with Dave Magadan, the hitting coach. Broken bat roller right to Story. LeMahieu turns it. And that ends the inning. But the Diamondbacks homer twice. Both the first of the year for Brandon Drury. And then for Jeff Mathis. Through 2, it's 2-0 D-backs.
The early 2-0 lead as we head to the third. Well, earlier this week, Shelby Miller learned that he suffered from a partial tear in his UCL. And today he made the decision to undergo Tommy John surgery. Shelby explained to me that after talking to doctors, other players who had similar injuries, and the Diamondbacks front office, he found the odds to rehab not very appealing. Instead, he believes where he's at in his career at 26 years old and how eager he is to get back in the mix with the Diamondbacks to be effective out on the mound, surgery was the best option.
Well, it's a decision that nobody wanted to have to make, especially Mike Hayes and the GM on the left there, Jared Porter, the assistant GM on the right. But that's the reality. And we all wish Shelby the best. He's been tremendous through this process, and he's worked so hard to get back to the level at which he had pitched this year. Trevor Story leads off the third for the Rockies against Zack Greinke, who has set down all 6 he's faced.
And we've talked about it at length since Shelby suffered the injury and what's the best plan of attack. And certainly they consulted all the right people to gather the information necessary to make that decision. I personally think it's the right thing to do. A lot of guys have rehabbed from partial tears of the UCL and come back and been very effective. But I just think the odds moving forward, go ahead, get it done, start the process, shorten up the other end so Shelby can be back on that field as quickly as possible.
Well, we went through it with Patrick Corbin as we were leaving for Sydney, Australia. We found out that year that Patrick would need the surgery, and he was able to make it back by the All-Star break the following season. So Shelby's not too far off that timeline. So if you figure he has the Tommy John soon, they haven't scheduled it yet, but maybe he's back pitching by the All-Star break next year. Has a half a season like Patrick did to sort of get his feet back under him again, and then hit the ground running in 2019. Yep. 2-2 to the Rocky shortstop, who's got a history with Zack Greinke, as we mentioned at the top of the show. 2 homers off Zack on opening day last year, as Story had a big first week in the big leagues. 4 for 10 career against Greinke with 6 RBIs.
Well, the difference is Trevor Story was somewhat of an unknown last year. Of course, you knew him from his minor league numbers and his potential. Hit an opposite field home run early in the ball game, and then a blast to left field later off of Zack Greinke.
And then hit 2 more home runs in that series against the Diamondbacks.
But we came to find out rather quickly he can hit a fastball.
Oh yeah. But the other thing he can do is swing and miss. He's done that a lot. In fact, no player in baseball has struck out more this season than Trevor Story. Here's the 3-2 from Greinke. He drives one pretty deep right center, and there it goes. Trevor Story launches another home run off Zack Greinke. That's his 6th of the season, and it's a 2-1 ball game. Well, Story homered last night against Robbie Ray. And he takes Greinke out of here in the third tonight.
Well, just a center cut fastball down and out over the plate, very nearly the same place he hit the home run last night.
Almost onto the concourse out there in right center. Something about Trevor Story in this ballpark. Here's the catcher, Tony Walters. Had the night off last night.
Well, you get down to the 8th spot in this Rockies lineup, and you'd like to think it's a little bit of a breather with the number 8 hitter and then followed by the pitcher. But Walters, 10 for his last 20 with 3 extra base hits. He is red hot.
Belts one to center. AJ has to play it on a hop. A homer and a single open up the Rocky third. Yeah, Walters has now hit safely in 5 straight games, 8 of his last 9. That'll bring up the pitcher, Tyler Anderson.
You would expect a sac bunt. Anderson has done that successfully once this year.
Pulls back and takes ball 1. Lamb well in on the grass at third. Goldie holding Walters on the bag at first. Now Goldie charges and bunts it to him. Just one play, Drury covers, and they move Walters along.
Pretty nice job right there when everybody in the ballpark knows you're going to try to put down a sacrifice bunt and still able to execute it to the right side of the infield. Forced Goldie to come in and make the play. The only play he had was back to first base.
Now the leadoff man, Charlie Blackmon. A run is in on the Story homer. Walters at second and one out. Blackmon struck out to lead off the ball game. Fastball's in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Charlie Blackmon begins tonight with a 13-game hitting streak. And during that streak, he's got 5 homers and 18 runs batted in. Up in an RBI spot right here. Boy, Greinke was in a tremendous rhythm. Retired the first 6 he faced, 3 by strikeout. But Story homers to lead off the third, then the Walters single. Now he's at second for Blackmon.
And he was ahead of Story 0-2 before running the count to full, and then Story homered on the next pitch.
The guy leading the majors in strikeouts. Popped it up third base side for Jake Lamb. 2 down. Trying to strand Walters right there. 2 down for LeMahieu, the second baseman.
And that shot of Walters there, seemingly doing nothing at second base, but he was watching the Diamondbacks infielders on the left side to see if they dropped their heads when Zack Greinke walked back to the mound. He was looking to try to move up 90 feet before another pitch is even thrown. You know, sometimes there'll be an out in the infield and you throw the ball back to the pitcher and everybody turns and walks back to their position with their head down, and an alert base runner can occasionally take advantage of that.
Walters is a guy they picked up at the very end of spring training last year, and he has fit the Rockies like a glove. There's a strike to LeMahieu. LeMahieu hit a rocket right back to Zack Greinke his first time up. Another Trevor Story homer here at Chase Field. There's Ian Desmond, just on the left of your picture there a moment ago, trying to come back from that fractured hand. Grunting on the fastball, and it's 1-1. There's Desmond. Big offseason signee for the Rockies. Gave him $70 million to play first base, a position he'd never played before. He'd been a shortstop forever in Washington, played center field last year for Texas. And when they signed him, everyone said, well, they'll probably move him to some other spot. No, they signed him to play first. But he's been hurt, and Reynolds has done a brilliant job filling in.
Probably more than a few Rocky fans out there scratching their head going, wait a minute. We gave a guy that never played first base that kind of money to play a position he's never played before, and we've got a guy that we're not paying anything, hitting .306 with 7 homers and 20 driven in.
Broken left hand suffered by Ian Desmond in the middle of March in a Cactus League game, and he's been trying to play catch up. Greinke ahead of LeMahieu, a ball and 2 strikes now in 40 pitches, 28 strikes. Walters at second and 2 outs. Bounced a hard slider up there. It's 2-2.
That's the one he hopes to get the right-handed hitter to chase. Bounced it out there in front of home plate, just off the outside corner.
Well, LeMahieu, a very dangerous and very smart hitter, won the batting title last year. And a career high walk rate, a career low strikeout rate. And with his size, he's a big dude up there at 6'4", 215. He can hit the ball hard.
And we talked about it last night. He started to hit for more power last year, 11 home runs for the Rockies, and you think that probably just scratching the surface of what he's capable of doing as far as power numbers.
2-2 from Zack Greinke. Bounced up the middle. Ahmed, the shortstop, is there. And they strand Walters at second, but the Rockies get one back on Trevor Story's second home run in this series. It's 2-1. Eating outdoors, roof open here at Chase Field. While you're doing that, enjoy a Pepsi. It's the official soft drink of your Arizona Diamondbacks. Stop by your local Fry's and stock up on some today. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the D-backs. Chris Owings leads off the home half of the third against lefty Tyler Anderson. All 3 runs in the ball game via the home run. Solo shots by Drury and Mathis in the second, and Story in the third. Chris lined out to left his first time up. It's been a sensational homestand for Chris Owings. In 8 games, he's had 10 hits and 13 RBIs. 3 home runs in there, his first career grand slam and his first ever multi-home run game. Went to that cutter into the righty again, but kept it down. That must look almost like a hard slider to the right-hand hitter.
He wants to throw another cutter in, or at least he shook to get to a cutter in right there and then reconsidered before delivering the pitch.
Well, he's been burned on that pitch a couple of times to righties.
Tried to throw the cutter to the back door that time. Bounces it in the dirt. I would venture a guess that at some point this season Tyler Anderson's going to start working on a 2-seam. He already throws the high 4-seamer. He's got the cutter to run inside to the right-handed hitters. If he had something moving away from the right-handed hitters, he'd be one of those guys we've talked about recently. Brandon McCarthy being one that throws the high 4-seamer, a sinker down and into a righty, and a cutter down and away to a righty.
Spiked a changeup there, and it's a 3-2 count to Owings. CO blasts it over the glove of Story and into left. Leadoff single in the home half of the third. Boy, everything Chris Owings hits these days is right on the barrel.
Boy, really does a nice job of keeping his head right down the barrel of the bat into the hitting zone. Hard line drive. Parr had to go down to a knee out there to block that ball. It was hit so hard.
Paul Goldschmidt now walked and stole a base his first time up. Goldie begins tonight with an 8-game hitting streak. keep a close eye on CO. He's 7 for 8 in his stolen base attempts this year. Well, you look at the top of this D-backs lineup. It's no wonder that opposing pitchers get all freaked out. Pollock has now got 10 stolen bases this year. Owings has 7. Goldie has 7. This is the top of the order that when it gets on base, it will go.
How about this, partner? Goldie's gone 33 plate appearances without striking out. That's a personal best for him.
You know, we saw him, as you mentioned, swing and miss on some hittable pitches in the strike zone very early in the year. A trend that we saw with Paul last year. It's good to see that changing quickly.
His previous high was 29 plate appearances without striking out back in June of 2015, up to 33 now.
And also for Goldie, with that walk in the first inning, he's reached base safely in 32 consecutive games against the Rockies here at Chase Field. That extends his own D-backs record. Fastball in, missed. 1-0. Carter 1-1 now. Tony Walters behind the plate. Converted middle infielder, let go by the Indians, and he has very quickly become the Rockies' #1 catcher.
We saw Walters as a base runner, very heads up at second base, trying to take an extra 90 feet, and now as a defender.
Oh, he hits one in the air, right center field for Blackman.
Trying to catch Chris Owings with his head down at first base, snap that pickoff throw down there. We saw somebody else do that last night, one of our showstoppers tonight. Yadier Molina, ball 4. Just kind of casually stood up behind home plate and realized that the runner at third base wasn't paying any attention, only a step off the base, but wasn't paying attention. Yadier Molina picks him off third base.
Is he the best ever for you back there?
I think so. I mean, the total package.
Yeah.
When he first came up, he was a defense-only catcher. You never knew if he was going to hit or not. But boy, has he developed into an offensive threat behind the plate and at the plate. He's an offensive catcher. You always have to be on your toes when you're on base against the Cardinals.
Jake Lamb struck out his first time up against Tyler Anderson. Now with 50 pitches, only 28 strikes. Boy, Jake almost got hit by a pitch in his first at bat. It hit the bat handle. That one got him.
That's a changeup. If you have to get hit by a pitch, oh man, inside of the left knee.
That'll feel great tonight. Well, again, Yasmani Tomas comes up with an RBI chance. Yasmani had second and third, 2 outs in the first inning and flied out to center to end the threat. Now he's up here first and second, 1 down. That's the problem the Diamondbacks ran into last night, Bob. They had their chances, just could not get that one big hit to put a crooked number up there.
Something they have been doing so well this season, coming up with those big hits with runners in scoring position, those big 2-out RBIs, but just couldn't do it last night.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks last night had 6 hits, all of them singles. And Tomas up there, 1 down. Owings at second and Lamb at first.
Another potential double steal situation, and if indeed the Diamondbacks try to pull a double steal, I would expect Walters to throw to second base.
Fastball missed. It's 1-0.
I would think the Rockies want to leave their left side of the infield intact. If Chris Owings breaks for third base, you don't want Nolan Arenado leaving his position to cover the bag at third. So also, given the fact Jake Lamb is the slower of the 2 base runners, I would anticipate a throw to second base on a double steal.
Tomas sends it to center field, and it's going to roll all the way to the wall. Owings will score. Here comes Lamb. It's a 2-run double for El Tanque as Manny Tomas. 4-1 D-backs. There's the big hit they couldn't get last night.
Up in the zone in 93, and Tomas is all over it. That ball was hit hard just to Charlie Blackmon's right. He kind of started gliding over there thinking he was going to make a play, and that ball just shot by him all the way to the wall. Jake Lamb got a great read at first base. Both runners will score easily.
RBIs 19 and 20 for Yasmani Tomas. That leads the Diamondbacks. So Tomas now leads the D-backs in homers and runs batted in. Here's Brandon Drury, who homered in the second. Brandon absolutely belted a pitch for his first of the year, about 10 rows back in left field. This was Drury to lead off the second, an absolute no-doubter.
We know how hard Brandon Drury grinds on his game, both defensively and offensively. Throw in base running. Everything about the game is of the utmost importance to him, and to see him go deep had to be a huge weight off his shoulders.
Our State Farm winning combo. How about this? Drury and Mathis solo homers in the second. 107 and 108 off the bat. And you want to talk about a huge weight off your shoulders. Just watching Brandon healthy after he had to leave the ball game the other night with that knee injury. Sat out one game and came back just fine last night. 1 for 4 with a single.
And really showed no ill effects. I didn't notice a limp as he was running or playing defense.
It was a great call by you to compare that to the Cody Ross play. I mean, boy, it looked just like it from a few years ago, and Cody suffered that devastating injury. Brandon ahead 3-1. Tomas takes off for third, and Drury belts it right back to Anderson, who knocks it down and throws him out. Now Yasmani Tomas is trying to steal third base.
Yeah, we talked about Anderson, especially with a runner at second base. He's been nearly 2 seconds in his delivery to the plate. Boy, that was a bullet right back at him once again. Just uses the glove as a self-defense mechanism to knock that ball down and throw on for the out at first base.
So Tomas, after his 2-run double now at third with 2 outs for Nick Ahmed, who grounded out on the first pitch he saw his first time up. Nick in there at shortstop tonight. Swings at the first pitch, a changeup. It's 0-1. I don't recall seeing Yasmani Tomas with those high socks. I think that might be a new look for him.
That's why he tried to steal third. He feels like a base stealer with his pants hiked up there.
And we try and stay on top of all the fashions as they come and go. Those kicks are pretty sweet. Kane on the mound for the Giants tonight. They're hosting the Padres again. Just underway, no score. Brandon McCarthy pitching for the Dodgers in LA. They're hosting the Phillies. They're in the first. 1-2 to Nick Ahmed. You know, Nick is very good when he gets behind in the count. He's a good 2-strike hitter. He's got a knack for, like he's done here, getting back even in the count. And then often going to center field or right center with 2 strikes. Dave Magadan, the hitting coach. Got to check with Mags and see how it is Tampa Bay Buccaneers did in the draft. Big Bucks fan. Fastball up, and it's a full count, 3-2. Mathis, who homered, is on deck. In the air along the right field line. Cargo near the seats. He's got room, and he makes a nice backhand grab up against the railing. But the Diamondbacks take a 4-1 lead. Yasmani Tomas, his 8th double this year. RBIs 19 and 20. And through 3, the D-backs lead the Rockies 4-1. Lot here at Chase Field. D-backs lead the Rockies 4-1. Fans, you can get the best seats for the lowest price with a D-backs mini plan. Choose from any game this season, including the Detroit Tigers series coming up May 9th and 10th, the Pirates series the 11th through 14th, or those Cubs will be here in August. Get your tickets now at dbacks.com. Nolan Arenado leads off the 4th. Zach Greinke just got 2 more runs now with a 4-1 lead, looking for the shutdown inning. Arenado popped up his first time up. Look at this. Nolan Arenado has not hit right-hand pitching this year. He's batting .217 versus righties. That's a drop in batting average of 300 points compared to how he's hitting left-handers. And against right-hand pitching this year, Arenado's line drive rate is nearly the worst in baseball. It's really unusual. He's had a great year. He's hitting, well, just well over 300. He's got 7 homers, but he's doing all his damage against lefties.
That was a little bit of a head scratcher. He's never really been susceptible to right-handed pitching throughout his career.
No. He's behind on Greinke 1-2. Last year, 41 home runs, led the National League. He led the majors in RBIs. Just turned 26 years old about 10 days ago. Sky high pop up. Mathis will have a look, but it's out of play. Well, the Rockies know what they have here. Easily one of the best players in the game. Broke into the big leagues at 22 years old. The Rockies will control Nolan Arenado contractually for 3 more seasons. This winter they bought out 2 of his arbitration years for nearly $30 million. He'll have 1 more year of arbitration eligibility left, and then he can hit the free agent market where he'll really cash in. Drives this one to pretty deep center field. A.J. Pollock backs up at the track. He'll play it off the wall. It gets away. Tomas is there to back up. And Arenado has his 9th double. Good job by Yasmani Tomas getting way out to straightaway center to back up Pollock on that play.
Well, we know AJ is going to go right to the barrier to attempt to make a play if there is a play to be made. And that time, once again, he got too close to the wall there in center field. And when it hits the wall, it ricochets right by AJ. Fortunately, Yasmani Tomas hustled over from left field and holds Arenado to a double. That's where it really helps to know your outfield partners and their tendencies. We know AJ is going to go after everything. So if you're a corner outfielder and the ball's hit to your side of center field, you better get over there and back up the play in case it hits the wall and ricochets away.
Well, looking for the shutdown inning, but right away a runner in scoring position for Carlos Gonzalez, who struck out his first time up. And again, no shift from the Diamondbacks against Cargo. You see Drury, the second baseman, back on the outfield grass. That's about it. Owings in right field, pretty deep near the warning track, but well off the line.
Now, CO has a tendency to play a little bit deeper than a guy who is a regular outfielder, just out of comfort. You're always more comfortable coming in on the ball than having to turn with your back to the infield and run toward the fence. So CO plays a little deeper than most.
Saw Brandon Drury do that a lot last year when he was out there in left field trying to learn how to play the outfield. Well, Greinke is in immediate trouble here. The double by Arenado behind on Cargo, 3-0. Pitches, 33 for strikes. Greinke had retired the leadoff hitter in 16 consecutive innings, but Story led off the third with a homer. Now Arenado has doubled to lead off the fourth, and he's walked Gonzalez. Just missed with a fastball.
Zach wanted that one right at the bottom of the zone.
First walk issued by Greinke. Watch Greinke's reaction when he doesn't get the call from Mike Estabrook.
I mean, it's a borderline pitch right down there at the bottom of the zone, but on the 3-0 count, that's called a strike 99 times out of 100. We just saw the one that was not.
Especially with a guy like Greinke out there. So 2 on, no outs for the dangerous Mark Reynolds, who struck out in his first at bat. Arenado is at second and Gonzalez at first. Reynolds already with 7 home runs and 20 RBIs this year. Looking for his first hit in this series. Fastball is strike one. Back to the fastball. 0-2.
Nice stop.
Curveball, he spiked it. We've seen Zach do that a couple of times with his slider. He did it with the curveball there.
Yeah, because of the rotation on that curveball, that ball's going to take a funny hop when it hits the dirt. It's always going to kick back to your left as a catcher, and that time Jeff Mathis played that ball perfectly.
Well, he just sort of maneuvered his right shoulder and angled it so the ball would stay in front of him at the last moment. In the air, right center field. There's Owings out there. Arenado will tag up and head for third. They're on the corners with 1 out for Gerardo Parra. Parra, the first time up, hit a little dribbler up the line that Greinke fielded. He was 0 for 4 last night. And as we mentioned, his first time up, not a great matchup for Parra with Greinke, because Parra is a very aggressive swinger. He will chase a lot of pitches out of the zone, especially against right-handers. Tends to have very quick at bats when he faces righties. Arenado is at third, Cargo at first, 1 out. Very aggressive out of the gate, swings at a high changeup and fouls it off. It's 0-1. Thing about Parra is when he gets behind in the count, then he really gets aggressive. He is not a patient hitter. He'll swing a lot in 2-strike counts, especially more than nearly every hitter in baseball. Waves at that one, and it's 0-2.
Well, you can just see the gears working for Zach Greinke out there. You know, looked away from home plate. Okay, I've got him to chase a changeup up and out of the zone. I got him to chase one in the dirt. Maybe a high fastball here. Maybe another changeup.
Parra has been very good in these situations this month. With runners in scoring position, he's 5 for his last 10.
Another changeup coming.
Down and away. Got him. 4 strikeouts for Greinke and a big out number 2. Well, that one went according to the script.
Oh, perfect. Didn't have to throw a strike to get him out that time.
But now here's a problem. It's Trevor Story. Homered twice off Greinke opening day last year. Homered against him tonight to lead off the third. 33 career home runs, 7 of them in this ballpark.
25 between Coors and Chase, only 8 everywhere else.
He's in the right division.
Yeah.
2 on and 2 out. Story is homered in both games of this series so far. Fastball away is ball 1. This was Story to lead off the third. On a 3-2 pitch, almost onto the concourse in right center.
And Zach started him with a fastball off the plate, low and away. Maybe just a show me pitch. I mean, Trevor Story has proven to me, I would think he's proven to the Diamondback staff, that he can hit a fastball anywhere around the strike zone. Slider that time. So you show him a fastball somewhere he can't hit it, plant that seed in his mind once again, then don't throw him another one the rest of the at bat. That would be my plan of attack against this guy.
Almost no one in baseball swings and misses more than Trevor Story. He misses about 40% of the time he swings at it. 60 pitches, 40 strikes. Fastball up, 2-1. Is this becoming a Goldie Lincecum situation?
I hope not.
So does everyone else.
You know, there's really no way to explain that. Goldie couldn't even explain the success he had against Tim Lincecum, but sometimes you just see the ball right out of the guy's hand and can immediately recognize rotation and velocity and where's that pitch going to be when it gets into the hitting zone. And against certain pitchers, it's almost like they're telling you what's coming. You see it so well.
Story able to lay off that slider, and now Greinke is behind 3 balls and 1 strike. He walked him. Second walk in the inning issued by Greinke. Now the bases are full for the catcher Tony Walters. Walters singled in his first at bat. Off to a very good offensive start to the year. He's hitting nearly 400. He's just over 380. He's hit safely in 5 straight games and 8 of his last 9. Arenado is the runner at third. Gonzalez at second and Story at first. Bases full of Rockies and 2 outs for Greinke. Went to the curveball on the first pitch. It's 1-0.
The Rockies, as you can imagine, have done well with the bases loaded. 6 for 17 as a team. 19 runs driven in those 17 at bats.
Greinke's been going to that slider a lot when he's behind. Popped up, headed for the left field corner. Tomas in foul ground, and Yasmani's got it. Zach Greinke, it wasn't the shutdown inning you hoped for, but he left them loaded and kept it 4-1. The roof is open at Chase Field. The Diamondbacks lead the Rockies 4-1 with Zach Greinke on the mound. Hey, it's social media night here, and some fans got to go down there and take some selfies. And how about this photo bomb? Goldie, America's first baseman. That's Jordan, and so this happened. Nicely done. This is the moment. Diamondbacks ran out there to take the field just before the national anthem, and everybody went out there and took a picture and tweeted it as part of social media night. They put it on the Instagram and the whole thing. So check those out on your social media. There, right there. There's a picture. Tweet that out. Here's the Goldie haircut. That's the talk of the booth.
I like it.
I still think he looks like one of those action heroes in those movies. Who's the guy? Jason Statham.
Yeah, there you go.
Looks a little bit like that.
Good call.
Jeff Mathis. Boy, great to see Jeff finally bust out a solo homer in his first at bat tonight, his first of the year. Jeff had been stuck in an 0 for 27 with 13 punch outs, and he blasted one with 1 out in the second inning. Anderson still coming in against those righties with a fastball. This was Mathis, and that's gone. Our Cox high-speed highlights. Almost hit it to Lolo's. Center field, Blackman coming in, and he's got it. On down for the pitcher, Zach Greinke, who walked in his first plate appearance.
Since the beginning of the 2011 season, the best on-base percentage by a pitcher in the major leagues, Zach Greinke.
I believe it. He's a hitter up there.
Jolie Chacin on that list, second among pitchers, and then Madison Bumgarner and Clayton Kershaw, but Zach Greinke atop the list.
I just hate to see him take swings like that, because that's how he injured the oblique last year and missed 6 weeks. I prefer the Taiwan Walker approach for D-backs pitchers, which is just sort of gently wave at the ball.
I always think back to Rick Russell, former teammate of mine, Big Daddy. If he was up at the plate with 2 outs and nobody on base, he would just stand there with the bat on his shoulders. They'd throw me 3 strikes and I'll go back out and pitch. If he was up there with runners in scoring position, he was Babe Ruth. He would grind and look for a pitch to drive.
Well, he was built like Babe Ruth.
You know, a lot like Babe Ruth. But yeah, if the at bat didn't mean anything, he just stood there like a statue and dared the opposing pitcher to throw him 3 strikes.
Greinke waves at another one. Well, that might get in your head a little bit if you were a pitcher. It's like shooting a free throw or something. If I was a manager, I would want to have the DH. It must be nerve-wracking to see. You can certainly speak to this. Your star pitchers going up there just taking hacks. Anything can happen.
Yeah, well, anything can happen to a position player for that matter, but it's more likely to happen to a pitcher.
That's in the seats and out of play.
Well, and like I said, depending on the game situation, runners in scoring position, you'd like the pitcher to go up there and take his at bat seriously, try to get a ball in the strike zone and put it in play somewhere, take your chances. But in a situation like this, 1 out, nobody on base, just don't get hurt.
Exactly. Greinke hits one pretty well, deep right field. Cargo, where is it? Oh, he makes a Willie Mays. That one carried on him. Greinke nearly hit it out of here. That was Willie Mays at the Polo Grounds.
At the end of it, that was a banana route by Carlos Gonzalez that time. Turns it into a really tough play over the shoulder, running catch on the warning track. I don't think he thought it was hit that hard off the bat.
A.J. Pollock has singled, stolen a base, and hit into a double play. Base is empty, 2 down. D-backs have out hit the Rockies 5-3. They lead at 4-1. Solo homers by Brandon Drury and Jeff Mathis. A 2-run double by Yasmani Tomas. There's Jeff. Trevor Story is homered for the only Rockies run. There's that Anderson changeup that he relies on so much, and you just saw why. Pollock way out in front. Tap to third. Nolan Arenado. Trevor Story has been all the offense for the Rockies. They trail at 4-1. We'll head to the 5th. D-backs lead at 4-1 as we start the 5th inning. D-backs fans, if you can't catch the games on your television, then stream them live on your mobile device. Use Fox Sports Go. It's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. You can download the app and take Fox Sports Arizona and your D-backs with you wherever you go. We go to the 5th inning. The pitcher Tyler Anderson leads it off for the Rockies against Zach Greinke, who has given up just 1 run on 3 hits. He has walked 2 and struck out 4. The Trevor Story homer to lead off the 3rd, the only scoring for Colorado so far. Strike 1. Padres and Giants still scoreless in San Francisco. Dodgers have taken a 1-0 lead over the Phillies in LA. They're in the 2nd. Oh, 0-2. Greinke got off to a great start. He had 1, 2, 3 innings in the 1st and 2nd. Struck out 3 the first 5 batters he faced in the ball game, but he's had to labor ever since. A lot of traffic around him on the bases. Getting breezy down on the field. The wind is really gusting outside the ballpark. The roof is open. The outfield panels are closed. And there's a breeze from the bat of Anderson. 5 strikeouts for Greinke.
Hey, fans, a day after every Diamondbacks win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
It's been kind of a windy spring here in the Valley, and Bob, we've seen this a bunch this year. When this roof is open but the panels are closed, that wind gets in here and really swirls around.
Yeah, it plays like an old-fashioned enclosed ballparks that were all built in the late 70s, early 80s. They all look just like the one built before it, but once the wind gets inside the bowl, there's nowhere for it to go, and it just swirls around, doubles back on itself. We've seen the outfielders have some real issues when the wind kicks up.
Charlie Blackmon 0 for 2. He comes into this game riding a 13-game hitting streak. Sends this one the other way. Long run for Yasmani Tomas, and it drops in front. And Blackmon's now hit safely in 14 straight. That ties Justin Turner of the Dodgers for baseball's longest active hitting streak.
Second baseman, DJ LeMahieu.
DJ LeMahieu, the second baseman, 0 for 2. And once again, Greinke has to pitch from the stretch.
We mentioned it before last night's ball game. The Rockies don't run much at all. They've stolen 4 bases this year. They've been caught 4 times. Charlie Blackmon, probably the guy you worry about the most stealing a base. He's 1 out of 3 this season.
Stu Cole coaching at third. Fastball up, and it's 1-0. Maybe because the Rockies don't get a lot of national attention, but with advanced scouting reports, you wouldn't think this would happen. But last year, big league pitchers had no problem giving DJ LeMahieu a fastball, and he won the batting title. He saw more than 65% fastballs last year. Blackmon takes off. Another fastball to LeMahieu is fouled away, and it's 1-1.
Just judging by his approach that time, I think that was a hit and run. LeMahieu really adept at hitting that ball to the opposite field when necessary, when the weakness in the defense is on the right side. Looked like he was trying to shoot that one through the hole between first and second as Blackmon broke for second.
Well, as we have seen over the years, DJ LeMahieu does not pull the ball. In fact, he goes to center and right center almost as much as any hitter in the game. So very good contact guy, doesn't strike out much, a good guy to hit and run with.
About the only time he pulls is when the pitcher makes a mistake with an off-speed pitch on the inside part of the plate, and he really has no option but to pull it to the left side. But he stays inside the ball so well. As you said, right center, right field, that's his bread and butter.
There's a good look from our crew here. Blackman leads off first. Goldie holds him on the bag. The 2-1 to DJ LeMahieu. Blackman holds. This is a little bloop, very short right. Owens has to play it on a backhand. Close play at second, but Blackman hustles in there. Well, that was one of those tweeners that Blackman almost got hung up on, but it dropped in front.
Yeah, because of Chris Owings' speed, and we mentioned an inning or so ago that he plays very deep in right field, but because of his speed, Blackman couldn't assume that that ball was going to get down. He had to go halfway, and CO tried to throw him out on a force play at second base.
And once again, a lot of traffic around Greinke on the bases. He has really had to work tonight. But one thing in his favor, the Rockies, well, they're always going to hit, but with runners in scoring position in this series, they're only 2 for 14 so far. And we've reached that point in the evening where the sun glares off the glass buildings across the street and shines brightly into the booth.
We've got to get that taken care of.
Yeah, you know everybody.
Yeah.
Call someone.
The demolition crew knock that building down.
It really glares if you're at the right angle. Here's trouble. Nolan Arenado doubled his last time up, his 9th of the year. Fastball is ball 1. Greinke left the bases loaded in the 4th. Kept it a 4-1 ball game. Now he's got 2 on and 1 out in the 5th. Looking fastball, got a slider.
Zach Greinke doesn't have traditional slider spin. It's not easy to recognize when he throws a slider. You know, most guys, when they throw their slider, we talk all the time about the dot that you see on the baseball because of the rotation. It's kind of a spiral football, and you see that dot on the ball. Greinke's slider doesn't look like that.
One and 2. One ball and 2 strikes. Arenado's backs out. Went back to the slider, bounced it into the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You can see that glare coming through the outfield panels there between CenturyLink and Fry's. In left center field, that is pretty bright if you're sitting at this level. Gorgeous night at the ballpark, though. Really comfortable. A little less so for Zach right now. 2 on, 1 out, 2-2 to Arenado. Now Mathis needs a word. Series and homestand finale coming up here tomorrow afternoon. Patrick Corbin against right-hander Herman Marquez, and then we fly to Washington, D.C. a day off on Monday. 3 against the Nationals Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Then we're in Colorado next weekend. Patrick Corbin will get the ball tomorrow. Nationals got terrible news today. Adam Eaton, former Diamondback, has a knee injury. He is out for the year. And they traded a whole bunch of good young pitchers to get him from the White Sox. So we wish Spanky Eaton all the best. Popped it straight up in the air. Mathis looking up into that wind and light sky. This could be tricky. But he's got it. A huge out number 2. Arenado pops out.
Now, the good news for the off day in Washington is Steve Winwood is playing the Warner Theater.
I can see you've done your advanced scouting as always. Senator McCain has actually offered to give a bunch of us a tour, which is very generous of him. He's done that before. 2 on, 2 outs for Gonzalez. 80 pitches for Greinke, 51 strikes. Cargo has struck out and walked. He's 0 for 1.
Boy, and he has just pounded Cargo inside. First 2 at bats of this game, a strikeout back in the 2nd inning looking, and then a walk in the 4th inning, but everything inside. Once again, going right back in there.
Slider missed. It's 1-0. Cargo generally does very well with fastballs away. Going down and away. There's a gorgeous Greinke changeup, and it's 1-1. That thing just drops away from the left-hand hitter like that, down and out. Blackman at second, LeMahieu at first, 2 outs. Each team now with 5 hits. A little harder changeup. Sometimes Greinke's changeup will almost register as a fastball. He likes it. 87, 88. That one got up to 89. But it's just enough of a difference to get the swing and miss.
And because the grip is different, he gets different action on that changeup, has a lot more sink on it than his fastball. But the velocity is very similar.
1 and 2 on Carlos Gonzalez. 2 on and 2 out. Went back in with a fastball. It's 2 and 2. Once again, no shift against Cargo by the Diamondbacks. Drury back on the outfield grass at second. Reynolds is the on deck hitter. A lot of D-backs fans here with us tonight. More than 30,000 in the ballpark. All hopped up on cotton candy. Here's the 2-2. Went back to that changeup away. Gonzalez lays off with a full count, 3 and 2. That'll get the runners started. Blackman at second, LeMahieu at first. And so anything in a gap here has a chance to score 2. Struck him out. Zach Greinke left the bases loaded in the 4th, strands 2 in the 5th. It's 4-1 Diamondbacks.
5th inning. Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Diamondbacks trying to even this series with the Rockies and a game apiece. D-backs 5-3 on this current homestand, with 2 more left to play against Colorado tonight and tomorrow. Chris Owings, Paul Goldschmidt, and Jake Lamb 2, 3, and 4 in the bottom of the 5th against lefty Tyler Anderson. Chris Singleton scored his last time up. He is 1 for 2. Came in on Yasmani Tomas's 2-run double in the 3rd. Diamondbacks led it 2-0 after 2 solo homers by Drury and Mathis. Trevor Story, a solo homer in the top of the 3rd, got one back. Diamondbacks answered in the bottom of that inning with the Tomas double. 1-1 on CO. Starting to get strength back in that shoulder he injured in 2014. What a difference it's made. Really starting to drive the ball. Anderson giving you all the looks he's got. 4-seamer, changeup, cutter. 80 pitches, 45 for strikes. Comes in again, and he got Owings with a cut fastball.
Well, those are some of the best cutters we've seen all night from Tyler Anderson. Just kept pounding CO inside off the plate. Finishes him off with another one well off the inside corner.
First baseman, Paul Goldschmidt.
This is the 2nd strikeout for Anderson. Here's Goldie, who has walked and flied out. He's 0 for 1. Swings at the first pitch, but got a first pitch changeup, and it's 0-1. Well, you got me looking at Goldie. Watch that bottom hand like you pointed out the other day. Before he gets in, every swing, checks that bottom hand right there.
Just up off the knob, and with 2 strikes he'll choke up even a little bit more.
Right there. Double check that time. 2-1.
This is one of those innings if you're Bud Black. The pitcher spot, Tyler Anderson led off the top half of the 5th inning. The Rockies trailing by 3 runs, and Bud Black elected to let Anderson hit for himself. Now you really need him to go out there and put a 0 on the board in the bottom of the inning. Otherwise you second guess yourself. Man, I should have hit for him.
Mike Esterbrook says that fastball was a strike. It's 3-2.
Just the way Tony Walters had to reach for that. He was set up inside on a knee and had to reach all the way across the plate and up to catch that pitch.
Coming in again to the righty. Missed with it, and that's Goldie's 2nd walk. He leads the major leagues in walks. A 1-out base runner for Jake Lamb. Jake has struck out. He's been hit by a pitch and scored a run. Nothing doing in the Rockies bullpen for the moment, with Anderson approaching 90 pitches.
Partner, we have our 3rd cycle of the year. Carlos Gomez of the Rangers homered to complete his cycle, following Will Myers and Trey Turner. Trey Turner almost had 2 cycles in a row.
He's going to have a lot more. We'll see Trey Turner next week in Washington. Nationals' great young shortstop. Texas has been a good fit for Carlos Gomez after it did not fit at all in Houston. Much better with the Rangers.
He had the single, double, triple his first 3 at bats. Needed the homer to complete the cycle and picked on the first pitch he saw in his 4th at bat and hit it out of the ballpark.
That's got to be a fun trip around the bases. Jake Lamb drives one deep right center. Way back and gone. It's on the concourse. Oh, it's a Lamb slam. Oh, he just destroyed that baseball. The 5th of the year for Jake Lamb. And the Diamondbacks have a 6-1 lead. That's about as far as you'll see a ball hit in this ballpark.
That great sound off the bat. Oh my, up in the middle of the zone. He absolutely crushed that ball to right center field.
Cleared everything out there.
Hanging cutter.
That's tacos. Really got to commend you on your artwork. Yasmani Tomas. In the air, short right center. Cargo on the run, and he tracks it down for the 2nd out in the 5th. Jake Lamb, a home run off the left-hander. That's his 6th hit this year against a left-hander. And watch this, 481 feet. 481 over the concourse. He hit it over the concourse out there. 481, the longest this year. Brandon Drury homer to lead off the 2nd, his 1st of the season. Fights that one off and dunks it into right field. Drury 2 for 3. There's Nick Ahmed. Nick 0 for 2 tonight. D-backs now with 7 hits, 3 of them are home runs. First pitch changeup, and it's 0-1. Solo homers in the 2nd by Drury and Mathis. A 2-run Tomas double in the 3rd. Now a 2-run homer by Lamb in the 5th. 481 feet. That's Mickey Mantle distance. Little tapper over the glove of Anderson. Story charges and throws him out. But watch Jake Lamb hit this baseball. This clears the walkway out there on the fly. 481 for Lamb, his 5th of the year. It's 6-1 Diamondbacks. the ballpark. Diamondback fans are tweeting some photos like Elliott here. Little Hannah's first baseball game. Use the hashtag #DBackSocial, and if we find your picture, we'll try and put it up there. Here's Brenda May, first game for the little one there. Social media night here at Chase Field. Hashtag #DBackSocial. Mark Reynolds leads off the 6th inning against Zack Greinke, who now has a 6-1 lead. Deep fly ball left field. Tomas will watch it go, and Reynolds has hit his 8th of the year. Sounded like he broke his bat on that home run, and it still carried out of here.
I think he did.
Second time a Rocky hitter has led off an inning with a home run against Greinke, and it's 6-2. It was Story in the 3rd, now Reynolds in the 6th.
Story got every bit of his. Looked like Mark Reynolds hit this right off the end of the bat. Sounded like he broke the bat, and still got enough carry to sneak it into the 2nd row out there in left center field.
Second home run given up by Greinke tonight, just his 4th this year. No lead is safe against these Rockies. Here's Gerardo Parra for 2. And Parra aggressive again. Oh, what a start it's been for Mark Reynolds, filling in for the injured Ian Desmond at first. His 8th home run, his 21st RBI. Parra 0 for 6 in the series so far. Came in here with a 7-game hitting streak. Trying to bunt for a base hit, but fouls it off, and it's 1-2. Zack Greinke now at 90 pitches, 57 for strikes. Bullpen is quiet for the Diamondbacks, although Greinke's spot will be due up 2nd in the home half of this inning. Parra with 2 strikes oftentimes gets himself out. 7 strikeouts for Greinke.
We saw it in the previous at bat. You just don't have to throw him a strike, especially once you get to that 2-strike count. He is hyper aggressive in those situations, and Zack is well aware of that and took advantage.
Well, this has really been a problem here for Zack Greinke. Trevor Story, a home run and a walk. Long at bats both times up against Zack. The home run is 6th of the year and his 2nd in this series. That led off the 3rd. Big slow curveball, dropped it in there, says Mike Estabrook. It's 0-1.
And his last at bat, Zack tried to throw him fastballs where he couldn't get to them, either off the plate away or above the zone high. Gets the call there. And then followed those fastballs with sliders in each occasion.
Went to the fastball that time. He missed. It's 1-1. Former D-back Mark Reynolds.
Let's go.
Back at Chase Field. His 8th home run of the year. Greinke back-to-back fastballs. It's 1-2. Well, you would think now he can get Story to chase something here and get that 2nd out ahead of ball and 2 strikes. Fastball up, can't lay off, but fouls it back. Chad Qualls, former Diamondback in the Colorado bullpen. Anderson's spot is coming up after Walters, who's on deck. Got him on that Short, slow curveball. 8 strikeouts for Zach Greinke. 2 down in the 6th.
Pitching much better that time. Threw fastballs where he couldn't quite get to them. Up and in, up and over the plate. Got him to eventually chase that big, slow curveball for strike 3.
Here is the catcher, Tony Walters. He has singled and flied out 1 for 2. Pitcher spot up next for the Rockies. And it looks like Alexi Amarista, the former Padres, in the on-deck circle. Walters now hitting .375 on the year. He's knocked in 3 runs. Change up, and it's 1-1. Walters this year has made a big effort to get his swing started earlier as the wave gets started here at Chase Field. More than 30,000 in here with us tonight. You see, you get those hands busy a lot earlier than he had been in the past, trying to sync everything up. And it's really worked for him. He's got off to a terrific start at the plate this year. Pitch number 100, a swing and a miss. Mathis will complete the strikeout. That's 9 for Greinke, but Reynolds' homer makes it a 6-2 ball game.
To the bottom of the 6th with the Diamondbacks in the lead by 4 runs. The Diamondbacks also lead all of baseball with 32 stolen bases, prompting Torey Lovullo to call Dave McKay the team's not-so-secret weapon. He said the D-backs first base coach is the best coach he's been around, giving McKay all the credit for the hard work and dedication he puts into studying opposing pitchers to expose their habits and mistakes that help the D-backs exploit the base paths. McKay told me he takes pride in keeping the opposition on the edge, but he deflected the attention to the players for buying in. But according to Torey, it's not hard to buy in. He said, you trust McKay. If he tells you to jump off a building, you don't think, you just jump.
Well, they get great jumps off first base, that's for sure. New pitcher for the Rockies, the veteran Chad Qualls. It's his 2nd appearance of the year. He just came off the 10-day DL on Wednesday. He'd been having some right forearm tightness. And he'll face Jeff Mathis, the catcher, to lead off the bottom of the 6th. Jeff, first pitch swinging, bounces one to third for Arenado, who sets himself and throws him out. So here comes Zach Greinke, who is at exactly 100 pitches. But Greinke will hit here with 1 out in the 6th. He's going to get those 21 outs.
Talking about Dave McKay and the running game for the Diamondbacks. That double steal back in the first inning, the 6th double steal of the season.
That's amazing. It's
It
April
really
29th. You're going to do what, 6, 7 a month at this rate? Wow. Greinke has walked and flied out. He's 0 for 1. Diamondbacks fans, of course, familiar with the big right-hander Chad Qualls. 826 career appearances. That's 45th in the history of baseball.
A little bit of rosin on that hat.
You think?
Yeah, of course, you're allowed to have rosin. There's a rosin bag laying out there behind the mound, but Qualls obviously puts the rosin on his hand and then goes to his hat quite frequently.
Looks like he just walked through a chalk factory or something. Nothing secret about Chad Qualls. He just rears back and fires.
Sinker slider. You know, that's a description for a style of pitcher in the major leagues. When you go over the advanced scouting reports, he's a sinker slider guy. Well, Chad Qualls is the very definition of a sinker slider guy.
He's got that big glove tap as he releases the baseball. Speaking of Rick Russell, he's built like Rick Russell. Same kind of body. Bounced over the mound. Trevor Story. 2 outs.
Hey fans, lots of fun giveaways this season. Be sure and get your tickets. On Sunday, May 14th, the first 10,000 moms will get the D-backs clutch purse courtesy of PetSmart, followed by the pool towel giveaway. That's a good one. On Saturday, June 10th, courtesy of Gila River Casinos. Then on the 1st of July, you can get the State 48 patriotic t-shirt. Visit dbacks.com to see the full promotional schedule.
You have I believe, a clutch purse.
Well, Vanessa left it here last night. Mike's nowhere to be found.
A.J. Pollock. A.J. singled in the first inning. He's 1 for 3. It's a quality item giving out on Mother's Day. First 10,000 moms with us.
Yeah, very lovely. And as Vanessa points out, you know, it's got a place for your credit cards and your money and your lipstick and all the other stuff that ladies like to carry in the clutch.
We have some of the best booth demos in the league, I think.
There's no doubt about it.
2-0. Trevor Story one more time at shortstop. Well, Chad Qualls comes in, gets 3 ground ball outs, sends us to the 7th. D-backs up 6-2.
dominating outings, but he's made the pitches when he needed to. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool plays of the game. Zach Greinke, when in trouble today, was able to get that big out. A strikeout, a par, a pop up to left field by Tony Walters. Pop up behind home plate by Arenado. A strikeout by Carlos Gonzalez, all with Rocky runners on base. They're 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position tonight against Greinke.
And he's back out there at 100 pitches, 65 for strikes. Pitcher spot will lead it off for the Rockies, and the former Padre, Alexi Amarista, will bat for Chad Qualls. Amarista only 16 at bats in his first season with Colorado, but he's got 5 hits. Greinke, as you pointed out, Bob, has made the big pitches when he's needed to. That Walters fly out to Tomas came with the bases loaded to end the 4th. And Arenado up there with 2 on and 1 out, popped up. Cargo struck out to win that 5th inning. The only damage that's really been done against him, the leadoff home runs. That was Story to lead off the 3rd and Reynolds to lead off the 6th.
Sounds like a Jim Palmer or Kurt Schilling outing. Give up solo home runs, but with runners on base, really buckle down and make your best pitches of the game.
Greinke tonight has walked 2, struck out 9. 2-1 on Alexi Amarista. Bullpen will start to get it cranked up down there. The left-hander Andrew Chafin, the right-hander J.J. Hoover. The Sanderson Ford bullpen. Zach trying to get his requisite 21 outs. That's the assignment every game for the starting pitcher from Torey Lovullo. Amarista, the little ninja with a big cut. Full count 3-2, missed the changeup. Amarista 5 seasons with San Diego, where he played under Bud Black. Got a 1-year deal with the Rockies in January. Blackman on deck, LeMahieu behind him. That's out of play. 9 strikeouts for Greinke, with 11 strikeouts recorded by their pitchers tonight. The D-backs would become the first National League team ever to strike out at least 11 batters in 6 consecutive games. Just the 2nd team ever to do that, after the 2014 Cleveland Indians, who recorded at least 11 strikeouts in 8 straight games. Taijuan Walker contributed his share. Fly ball pretty deep for Tomas, still backing up. He's at the wall, and it's gone. Alexi Amarista sneaks one out of here, and for the 3rd time in the ball game, the Rockies have led off an inning with a home run against Zach Greinke. Just slicing over his head and in the front row.
We talked about the wind earlier in the ball game. Not sure exactly what effect it has out there at field level as Torey Lovullo is headed out to the mound to get Zach, but Trevor Story crushed his ball. Mark Reynolds broke his bat and hit a home run, and Alexi Amarista, who's not known for his opposite field power, puts one into front row and left center field.
Greinke gives up 3 homers. He had given up only 2 coming into the ball game, and he leads with a 6-3 lead back after this. 251 consecutive at-bats without a home run. But on a 3-2 pitch, he hits one out of here to lead off the 7th. As we look ahead to tomorrow's series and homestand finale, CenturyLink, what's next? Airman Marquez will pitch, the right-hander for the Rockies, against lefty Patrick Corbin. Left-hander Andrew Chafin has answered the gas line call to the bullpen. He's in there to face Charlie Blackmon. The numbers on Chafin this year: a 2.57 ERA, his 11th appearance of the season. Opponents hitting only 192 against him. Blackmon singled his last time up. He's 1 for 3. He's hit safely in 14 straight games now. So almost a look of disbelief on Zach Greinke's face in the dugout after thinking about that Amarista homer. Hard to blame him.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it myself. I mean, Amarista doesn't have that kind of opposite field pop. I got to believe the wind swirling around here really helped that one.
Got caught in an updraft and took it out into the first row in left field. Greinke had given up only 2 home runs in 5 starts all season coming into tonight, but he gives up 3 homers tonight. All solo shots, all to lead off innings. Story in the 3rd, Reynolds in the 6th, Amarista in the 7th. No, he didn't go, Toby Basner. 2-2 on Charlie Blackmon.
Very close.
Speaking of home runs, did I hear you say Matt Kemp has hit 3 tonight?
Yeah. 3 bombs for the Atlanta Braves. They're putting it on the Brewers. They put it on the Brewers 11-3 tonight. That one's a fine one.
And Blackmon dunks it over the head of Lamb and into short left field. A home run and a single lead off the Rockies 7th.
Charlie Blackmon against the lefty. He just looks for something up and out over the plate. He can drive the other way if you happen to make a mistake from the middle of the plate, and he's still quick enough to hit that ball hard to right field, but soft serve that one into left.
Well, Andrew Chafin cannot get his man. The lefty gets the base hit. Torey Lovullo will go back to the bullpen now, and we'll be back right after this. Backs lead the Rockies 6-3. We're in the 7th inning, and the new pitcher from the Diamondback bullpen is the right-hander J.J. Hoover, who has really been solid this year. His 11th appearance, an ERA of 2. It's another ash line called to the bullpen. He'll face DJ LeMahieu.
J.J. Hoover pitched in relief of Taijuan Walker the final game of that San Diego series. A clean inning, 3 ground ball outs.
He's been the guy to come in here in these spots late 6th, 7th inning, early 8th inning, and get some really difficult outs against good right-hand hitters. And he's got 2 that he'll have to deal with here with LeMahieu and Arenado on deck. LeMahieu singled his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Amarista led off the inning with a home run against Greinke. Blackman, who's at first, singled off Andrew Chafin. Now here's Hoover to face LeMahieu, and that one is headed for the right field corner. Blackman can really run. He's going to come in easily here. The throw is into cut off, and it's a 6-4 ball game. Throw headed toward third. LeMahieu stays put at second with his 5th double this year. Rockies open the inning with 3 straight hits.
Yeah, we mentioned it in LeMahieu's last at bat, a base hit into right field. This is his game. Looks like occasionally he gets overmatched with good fastballs, but his intention is to drive the ball to the opposite field. That time he found the cornered out there in right field. RBI double for DJ LeMahieu.
And it's a 2-run lead now. Tying run at the plate. Still no outs in the inning. Here's Arenado, who doubled in the 4th, 1 for 3. And run charge to Andrew Chafin. Two and 0. Fastball's a strike, 2-1. Arenado, a run producing machine in the second half of last year. 63 RBIs in 73 games after the All-Star break. Led the major leagues in RBIs last season. Lays off that slider. It's 3-1.
I know it's tough for fans not to watch the flight of the baseball, but on the next pitch, just watch Nolan Arenado's feet. He sneaks up on that inside corner of the plate. Not just feet, just ever so slightly creeping in there.
Well, the first 4 Rockies in the 7th inning have reached homer, single, double, base on balls, and here comes Carlos Gonzalez.
Right fielder Carlos Gonzalez.
Tori Lovello now going out to the mound. He's got a left-hander. The former Rocky De La Rosa is on his way in. Rockies career wins leader. He was their opening day starter in this ballpark last season. And now he makes his 11th appearance out of the Diamondback bullpen, the 4th pitcher Torey Lovullo has used in this 7th inning. And he's got his work cut out for him. 2 runs are already in. Rockies have 2 runners on, still no outs, and the batter is Carlos Gonzalez. DJ LeMahieu is the runner at second. Nolan Arenado is the tying run at first. Gonzalez walked in the 4th inning, and he struck out twice against Zach Greinke. He's 0 for 2. This is well hit right at Chris Owings. CO has it on the warning track. LeMahieu tags and heads for 3rd. And a hard hit ball to deep right, the first out of this top of the 7th.
A nice recovery out there by Chris Owings. He was initially fooled by that line drive right at him, kind of froze in his tracks, and then had to retreat and make a little jump catch out there just shy of the warning track.
Now here's Mark Reynolds, who homered his last time up, his 8th of the year. He's 1 for 3. Runners on the corners and 1 out. Rockies have now out hit the D-backs 9-7. LeMahieu at 3rd, Arenado at 1st. Big cut at that 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 0-1. Mark Reynolds this winter got a $3 million offer to play in Korea this season. Passed on that, took a minor league deal to come back to Colorado, and boy, has that worked out well. Knowing he'd be a backup player, but with Desmond's injury, he's been one of the best bats in their offense. Big double play ball here. Ahmed, Drury, Goldie, they roll it. And Jorge De La Rosa comes in and puts out the fire. Mark Reynolds, the former Diamondback. Jorge De La Rosa, the former Rocky. 6-4 D-backs.
D-backs still lead the Rockies 6-4. Time to take a look at our timeless moment, brought to you by Coors Banquet. During a 9-7 victory over the Braves, Troy Tulowitzki turned the 13th unassisted triple play in big league history back in 2007. Runners at first and second on the move with the pitch. Chipper Jones hit a line drive to Tulo. He stepped on second to get that runner out and then tagged Edgar Renteria between first and second for the unassisted triple play.
Well, give a gold star to Jorge De La Rosa. The first 3 pitchers in that top of the 7th inning for the Diamondbacks threw 18 pitches and did not record an out. De La Rosa came on and recorded 3 outs on 4 pitches. And the Rockies are now 0 for 9 tonight with runners in scoring position. They go to their bullpen. Here's the left-hander Jake McGee, his 10th appearance this year. Opponent sitting only 148 against him. Chris Owings, who singled and scored in the 3rd, leads off the D-backs 7th. Well, Jorge De La Rosa has proven to be a tremendous offseason signing by Mike Hayes and Jared Porter and his group. He has gotten some big outs already in a relatively new role for De La Rosa. Short relief. Came onto a big mess, got Gonzalez to line out, and then Reynolds hit the double play. That one off the mask of Tony Walters back there. You can see Mike Estabrook checking in with the Rockies catcher. I'm okay. CO down 0-2. That's going to get out of play. Giants are leading the Padres 3-1. They're in the 6th inning in San Francisco. Dodgers are home. They trail the Phillies 4-1. They're in the 5th in LA. Fly ball playable in right center for Blackman. It's up in that wing, and that's the first out in the bottom of the 7th. Paul Goldschmidt has walked twice and scored a run. He's 0 for 1, leading the major leagues in walks. They're trying to extend what is an 8-game hitting streak.
At this, the numbers for Jake McGee are just ridiculous. He throws his fastball 95% of the time.
Yikes.
It's a fastball slider combination. His heater sits just a tick shy of 95 miles an hour. He's got at 96.
10 strikeouts in 7 2/3 innings so far this year. Pitched for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. 1-1 to Goldie. Line to short. Story backhands it, sets and throws. 2 outs. Well, his last time up, Jake Lamb hit a baseball over the concourse on the fly in right center field, 481 feet. His 5th of the year, and it was something to see. Here it is, off the lefty Anderson, and watch this go. Watch where it lands.
There's fans hanging over above the concourse out there. Oh no, Jake said. You could see the reaction of his teammates on the bench. They couldn't believe it.
All of these home runs hit today. Ryan Zimmerman for the Nationals, and Hanley Ramirez hit one on the Massachusetts Turnpike at Fenway Park.
I saw that one. That was a blast, but nothing like Jake Lamb's.
Wow. 481. Almost hit the Fox Sports Arizona set. That was Jake's 6th base hit against the left-hand pitcher this year. Rockies have the shift on. And it's 1-1. There's a look. Arenado, you just leave him over there on the left side all by himself with his 4 gold gloves. LeMahieu and Story on the right-hand side. Another fastball from McGee. It's 1-2. That's out of play. Fastball, fastball, fastball.
No surprises. Just relies on moving it in and out, up and down.
Jake in this series has driven in 7 runs in 7 games. Down a ball and 2 strikes against a good left-hander. And the fastball is in there for strike 3. 8th inning on the way. Diamondbacks have a 6-4 lead.
Fans, we invite you to participate in Gila River game nights by signing up at one of the interactive kiosks located here at Chase Field during any D-backs home game.
It will be interesting to see how Torey Lovullo navigates this 8th inning. Remember, he used 4 different pitchers in the 7th. Well, you've got the left-hander Gerardo Parra leading off the inning for Colorado against the lefty Jorge De La Rosa, but Archie Bradley, with Trevor Story due up next, is ready in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. So we'll see if De La Rosa pitches past Parra here. If he retires Parra, do you let him face Story? We'll find out. 6-4 ball game as we start the 8th. Parra has been up there hacking all night long. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. And as we noted earlier, when Parra gets behind in the count, he actually gets even more aggressive. Able to check his swing that time. It's 1-1.
Nearly swung at a pitch that almost hit him.
I mean, he will chase pitches way out of the zone, especially when he gets to 2 strikes. Waves at another one. A high cutter from De La Rosa. 1-2. Parra came in hot, a 7-game hitting streak, but last night 0 for 4 with a strikeout. And he's already struck out twice tonight. Got him. Chase to high fastball, 96 from De La Rosa, and Torey Lovullo can't run out there fast enough. He's got his right-hander ready. You've got Trevor Story coming up. So this will be a very interesting showdown in a 2-run ball game in the 8th inning. Story has homered in both the first 2 games in this series. And here comes Archie Bradley when we come back at Chase Field. Bradley and Story. D-backs lead at 6-4. The deck, strength against strength here. Archie Bradley brought in to face Trevor Story. Our ash line call to the bullpen. Story has homered, walked, and struck out tonight. The home run is 6th of the year and is 2nd in this series. And these two have seen each other before.
Trevor Story 2 for 3 lifetime against Archie with a couple of doubles. The one out was a punch out.
'97 in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Another fastball at 97, a ball and 2 strikes. Got to be careful here. The last 2 times Archie has come in, he's given up home runs to the first man he's faced. High in the air, but playable for Tomas. 2 outs.
Well, we've talked at length throughout this first 2 games of this series. Trevor Story, a dead fastball hitter. Archie Bradley, a dead fastball pitcher. Who's going to win? Just missed off the plate that time. 96, 97, 97.
These locations too.
Oh, a 98 up and in, little weak pop up to the left side. All fastballs that time from Archie Bradley.
Jammed him on that last one for the 2nd out in the 8th inning. Here's the catcher Tony Walters, who is 1 for 3 with a single. Archie's got that fastball cranked up. It's 0-1. As we reported earlier, Shelby Miller announced today he will have Tommy John surgery. No date has been set as of yet. Nice curveball there from Archie. And no answers from the Diamondbacks as to who will fill that rotation spot, but you've got to think Archie is certainly in consideration. But boy, he's been spectacular in this role. He comes in and gets a fly ball out and a strikeout. Archie Bradley ends the top of the 8th and keeps it 6-4 Diamondbacks.
Here at Chase Field, Jody Jackson alongside Mark Grace. We're getting set for our post-game show, and the script has changed a little bit as we've gone along. When you look at navigating this Rockies lineup, though, it's interesting how these relievers have been able to come up clutch tonight.
You're right, Jody. And after Zach Greinke was removed from the game, sometimes the game gets a little wild. And I think this game, whatever happens in the 9th inning, this ball game was saved in the 7th and 8th.
Jorge De La Rosa and Archie Bradley, fantastic job. All right, we'll break it all down for you after the game, guys. We'll see you then.
Okay, thanks, guys. We appreciate that. Look forward to it. Here's the right-hander, Carlos Estevez, out of the Rocky bullpen. Note the ERA. It's over 9.5. Estevez worked Thursday afternoon's game at Coors Field against the Washington Nationals and gave up 7 earned runs in less than 1 inning of work. That'll kill your ERA.
Boy, and working 1 inning at a time or parts of an inning at a time, it's going to take him a while to get that back down to respectability. That's one of the curses of a relief pitcher.
Well, how about Archie Bradley? The Diamondbacks tonight have recorded 11 strikeouts by their pitchers. They have become the first team in the history of the National League to strike out at least 11 batters in 6 consecutive games. And just the 2nd team ever to do it after the 2014 Cleveland Indians. Tomas had a big 2-run double in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Now no balls and 2 strikes. Able to check, says Jerry Lane, and it's 1-2. 11 strikeouts recorded by D-backs pitchers today. 6 consecutive games with at least 11 strikeouts. Greinke struck out 9. 2-2 on Tomas. What do you think, Bob, about the way that Torrey has used the bullpen here late? He's used every option available to him down there.
Given the fact the Diamondbacks dropped the ball game last night, if you want to win the series, you got to win game 2. So he's approaching this like this is a must-win ball game. He wants to give his team an opportunity tomorrow to win the series, so he's going after it here tonight.
Including Greinke, Torrey used 4 pitchers in that 7th inning, and then brought De La Rosa back to start the 8th just to get the lefty Parra, and then went to Bradley to get Story and Walters and keep it a 6-4 game. Chance for our Golden Glover down there. That's Gregor, baby, you can drive my car.
Beep, 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 beep. Yeah.
Gregor working the left field line tonight. In right field, the veteran Fred Big Game Bauer. Fernando Rodney has started warming up in the D-backs bullpen. Still 2-2 to Tomas. Good at bat by Yasmani. Lays off that slider. He's worked it full.
That's a really good take. A guy that throws upper 90s, has a slider in the upper 80s, and just laid off that pitch just off the outside corner.
Hard fastball fouled away. It stays full. Padres have come back to take a lead in San Francisco. They're ahead of the Giants 4-3 in the 6th inning. Dodgers in LA tonight. They're trailing the Phillies 4-1 also in the 6th. Headed for radio. Look out, Mike Farron. I think we may have had an incident in the press box. Patrick Kirsch in there. Don't tell me it hit Steve Gilbert.
No.
No.
Stevie's way too quick for that.
Is he though? Cargo. Oh, he clanked it. Tomas rounds first and heads for second. It rolls into the corner, and Yasmani rolls into third. Slicing away from Carlos Gonzalez, and Tomas is in at third base to lead off the bottom of the 8th.
that ball hard down the right field line. Cargo looked like he had a beat on it the whole way. Just fanned on that ball out there in the right field corner.
Oh, he looks just like Pete Rose there, doesn't he?
A lot like Pete Rose.
And we'll get a pinch runner now. That's an E9 on Gonzalez. Hazelbaker in to run for Tomas. Chance to pad the lead here. Leadoff man on third for Drury, who has homered and singled. It was eerie how much he looked like Pete Rose. Famously sliding headfirst into third at Fenway Park in the '75 World Series. Strike one to Drury at 98. Check swing foul, and it's 0-2.
Easy move to make for Torey Lovullo. Pinch running Jeremy Hazelbaker down there at third base for Tomas. He was probably going to make the defensive change in the top half of the ninth inning anyway, and now you get a little better speed down there at third base in the event of a short fly ball to the outfield.
Plus, Yasmani probably needs to catch his breath after running all the way to third.
Yeah, we do have a day game tomorrow. You got to give him plenty of time.
By the way, a rumor has it, and we can confirm this, the roof will be open tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah. Hard to short, but right at Story. Oh, Brandon barreled that one up, but right to the Rockies shortstop.
Buzzard luck that time for Brandon Drury. Hit that ball right on the nose with the infield playing in, but hit it right at the Rockies shortstop.
So Hazelbaker stays put at third. The infield is still in for the Rockies. And here's Nick Ahmed, who's 0 for 3. Now we can confirm the roof will be open tomorrow, fans. Got Russ Amaral to thank for that. A 1:10 start. D-backs and Rockies come on down to the ballpark. Should be a gorgeous day, and the roof here will be open tomorrow afternoon. Patrick Corbin against Germán Marquez as we conclude this 10-game homestand. D-backs, if they can hang on here, will improve to 6-3 on the homestand with one more to go. Check this swing. Sliders in there for a strike, and it's 0-2. Very comfortable with the roof open up here tonight. D-backs trying to even this series at a game apiece. The first meeting this year, the Rockies and the Diamondbacks, the top two teams in the NL West. Jam shot, pop-up, foul ground for Reynolds, chasing it. And he's got it. Hazelbaker stops halfway to home, and he's got to scamper back. Jeremy is a very good base runner, and Reynolds alertly turned and stared him back to the bag.
He was going to score if that throw was offline or if Reynolds hesitated at all, but Mark Reynolds made a nice over-the-shoulder catch in foul territory, immediately fired it home to Tony Walters, who thought that Hazelbaker was coming down the line. He turned around ready to apply a tag, and that gave Hazelbaker enough time to get back into the bag at third.
Well, that insurance run is still 90 feet away, but now there's 2 outs for Jeff Mathis, who homered in the second, his first of the year. Pitcher spot up next. Chris Herman is in the on-deck circle. And there's ball one. Mathis's homer was an absolute no-doubter. He crushed it to left center field. You'll settle here for just a little bloop single. That one got the catcher Walters. Well, he's been taking a beating back there tonight. Here comes the trainer to have a look.
Watch this.
No, you don't.
Oh, inside of the right thigh, it looked like, fortunately. You ever seen the bruise you get when you get hit by a baseball about 90 miles an hour on the inside of your thigh? It lasts for weeks.
I bet it does. Bud Black going to make sure here.
A smile on his face. I guess he's going to be okay.
Tony Walters was originally a third-round draft pick by the Cleveland Indians and played his first few seasons in pro ball as a shortstop and second baseman. Rockies picked him up just as spring training was ending last year, and he has quickly become their #1 catcher.
I'm not usually a big fan of that, guys moving from other positions behind the plate, but Tony Walters looks like he's really taken to it. He frames the ball well. He's a tough kid back there behind a plate. Seems to call a good game for his pitching staff. He's made the transition very easy.
Mathis trying to bunt for a base hit. Well, you made a similar transition, didn't you?
Yeah, but I was a catcher to begin with, and then I went to other positions throughout my minor league career before ending up back behind the plate. But you know, taking guys that have been natural infielders or natural outfielders, and either because you're jammed up at that position or you want to get their bat in the lineup, just sticking them behind the plate, I think a lot of times that's not productive.
Well, Cleveland was the team that tried to convert him into a catcher, and you know, he kind of stalled in their minor league system, and finally at the end of spring training last year they gave up and waived him. Rockies picked him up, and boy, it's just worked out really well for both Walters and the Rockies. 2-2 to Jeff Mathis with Hazel Baker at third and 2 outs. Fernando Rodney still warming up in the D-back bullpen. Rockies in the 9th will have the pitcher spot, and then the top of the order, Blackman and LeMahieu. Fernando is ready to go, trying to get him one more insurance run here. Good take by Jeff, and it's a full count, 3-2. Herman would hit for the pitcher. He's on deck. Out there. Well, the Diamondbacks get the leadoff man to third base, but can't bring him home. And now Fernando Rodney is on his way in with a 6-4 lead. Get those bow and arrows ready. Rodney coming in, 9th inning on the way. Rodney was Wednesday night here against the San Diego Padres when he came on in the 9th inning with the lead, and it got away. He wound up with the loss. Rodney Gave up 5 earned runs on 6 hits, recorded only 2 outs. And now he's got a chance to put that behind him, trying to close out a win over the Rockies.
I think the issue last time out was just command. He made a lot of mistakes in the middle of the plate, which I don't care how hard you throw or how good your stuff is. If you throw it over the heart of the plate, it's going to get hit hard, and that's what happened to Rodney last time out. Looking to bounce back here tonight and get his 7th save of the season.
Jeremy Hazelbaker, who came on to run for Yasmani Tomas, as Bob mentioned, does indeed stay in the ball game. He'll take over in left field. Pitcher's spot will lead it off for the Colorado 9th. Here's Pat Valaika, who was in there at second base last night, went 0 for 3 with a walk. Valaika 4 for 12 this year. 3 of those hits are doubles.
Two for 3 as a pinch hitter this year for Bud Black off the Rockies bench.
That fastball's in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. So it's Valaika, Blackman, and LeMahieu 9-1-2 in the Rockies 9th. There's that very slow changeup, slower than usual, in fact, at 82. Usually that split change from Rodney comes in 84, 85. Valaika well out in front. It's 1-2. Fastball away, but he missed at 96. Tried it again, missed again. Full count, 3-2. Don't want to put a runner on ahead of some of these Rocky power hitters and let them bring the tying run to the plate. Base hit. Valaika leads off the 9th with a single. Here's Charlie Blackman. Blackman has single his last 2 times up. He's 2 for 4. Very high changeup for Rodney. 0-1. Got to be careful with Blackman. Tremendous power. Crushes low fastballs. Seats it on a play. Rodney's ahead 0-2. Went to the low fastball there, but down and away. If you know Rodney has that split changeup and you're in a 0-2 count, can you look for it?
No, because he's just as likely to throw you that fastball in the mid to upper 90s. Right up there. Yeah, when a guy has a really good changeup like Rodney does, occasionally with 2 strikes you just give up the fastball, fight it off, foul it off to the opposite field, whatever you have to do to stay alive, and then try to be ready for that changeup. But there's a reason it's so good. It's very tough for a hitter to pick up.
Well, Mathis wanted another fastball up, and it's 2-2.
Changeup. There's as a general rule, in a two-run ball game with a runner on base, you just try to stay away from a hitter's power. In Charlie Blackmon's case, that's fastball down middle of the plate in. And you try to avoid that area if you can at all cost.
Blackmon hit 5 home runs versus the Diamondbacks last year. The 2-2 from Rodney on the way. Got him. The changeup gets the first out in the 9th.
Yeah, that was a beauty right there. A lot of downward movement, full arm speed. You don't see Charlie Blackmon get that far out in front of pitches very often in a 2-strike count. He's usually a very good defensive hitter.
Well, if Rodney gets the save, he's going to have to earn it. LeMahieu, the last year's National League batting champion, steps in. Then Arenado behind him. LeMahieu has single doubled. He's 2 for 4. Had an RBI double off J.J. Hoover's last time up. Tying run at the plate, 1 out in the 9th.
A little bit of a history between these two. DJ LeMahieu 1 for 5 lifetime with a strikeout and a walk against Fernando Rodney. Nolan Arenado in the on deck circle 1 for 4 lifetime with 2 strikeouts.
Green, after Rodney imploded Wednesday night, said they saw maybe more fastballs than they usually see or have seen Rodney throw. He played with San Diego last year. So we'll see how often he mixes in that changeup tonight. Trying to come in with that fastball, and it's 2-1. He's behind in the count. Shelby Miller headed for Tommy John surgery. 2-1 to DJ LeMahieu. Missed with it, 3 balls and a strike. More than 30,000 here with us on a Saturday night in downtown Phoenix. Diamondbacks trying to even this series at a game apiece. Baxter's got them going. 1 out. Valleca at first. 3 balls and 2 strikes to DJ LeMahieu. He walked him. Tying runs are aboard for the Rockies, and Nolan Arenado walks up to the plate. Arenado doubled in the 4th, walked his last time up in the 7th. He's 1 for 3. Torey Lovullo has used 5 of his relief pitchers tonight, including his closer. Colorado tonight 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. But the tying runs are aboard with 1 out. Fouled away, and it's 0-1. That one hit Rodney or Arenado right on the shin guard. the air near the Rockies dugout and out of play. 0-2. Don't forget, fans, series finale here tomorrow, 1:10 start, and the roof will be open tomorrow at Chase Field. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Last chance to see the Diamondbacks before the next road trip, which starts Tuesday in Washington, D.C. And we're in Colorado next weekend to face these Rockies. Already a 20-pitch inning for Rodney. Look out, Cargo.
98 on that last heater.
Arenado managed to get a piece. Tapped in the hole. Lamb charges, bare hand throw, and he got him. What a play by Jake Lamb. 2 outs. But the runners move up. And here comes Cargo with the tying runs in scoring position and 2 outs. It comes down to this. Fernando Rodney and Carlos Gonzalez.
Boy, a lot of early gasoline right here from Fernando Rodney. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. He fouled that one off his foot. Another 96-mile-an-hour heater. Really humped it up there to 98. Got another foul ball. And then another 97-mile-an-hour fastball with a little movement. Gets that little tapper to the left side. What a play by Jake Lamb.
So here we go. 2 on and 2 out. The lead is 2. Cargo walked in the 4th. He's 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. No shift by the Diamondbacks. Drury back on the grass at second. Goldie backs up on the grass at first. High fastball. 1-0.
Remember Zach Greinke facing Carlos Gonzalez tonight, exclusively in all night long, trying to crowd him.
Floated that changeup out there. He's behind 2 balls and no strikes. You've got first base open and Mark Reynolds, the former Diamondback, on deck. Reynolds homered to lead off the 6th, his 8th of the year. (3-0). 25-pitch inning for Rodney. And there's the automatic intentional walk. They will work to Reynolds with the bases full.
Third baseman Mark Reynolds.
So they'll go righty on righty. Diamondback fans know Reynolds' tendency to strike out, although that's been much improved in recent seasons. He's 1 for 4 tonight. Valleca is at third. LeMahieu, the tying run at second. Gonzalez, the go-ahead run at first. Fastball is in there for a strike in 98. $30,000 plus making a lot of noise on a Saturday night in downtown Phoenix. 99 missed upstairs. A ball and a strike to Reynolds. Last time up, Reynolds hit into a double play to win the 7th. That's a base hit. It squirts through. Valleca scores. Here comes LeMahieu, and the game is tied.
Carried that fastball down and in. Reynolds rolled over. Got the ground ball he was looking for. Unfortunately, it finds that hole in the left side with 2 outs in the inning. That's going to score 2 easily.
Gerardo Parra. '11th hit for the Rockies. Parra is 0 for 4. He has struck out the last 3 times he's been up there. 2 outs and the go-ahead runs at second. There's the strike 0-1. We've mentioned all night long, and it's held up all night long. Parra gets very aggressive when he's behind in the count. Like that. Diamondbacks will have the pitcher spot leading off bottom 9. And then Pollock and Owings 9, 1 and 2. Rodney at now over 30 pitches in this inning. Bullpen is busy for the D-backs. The 0-2 to Parra. That one gets to the backstop, and everybody moves up. A wild pitch, a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
And missing from one side of the plate to the other. You see where Mathis was set up. That ball right at the knees of Gerardo Parra. No chance to react with that kind of velocity.
Go ahead run 90 feet away. Gonzalez at third, Reynolds at second. 2 outs, 1 and 2 on Gerardo Parra with Trevor Story on deck. Tom Wilhelmsen is warming up quickly in the D-backs bullpen, the right-hander. Diamondbacks have used 5 relievers tonight. Wilhelmsen pitched 1 inning in the game last night through just 10 pitches, worked a 1-2 3/8. Another 1-2 to Gerardo Parra. And that one kicks away. Here comes Gonzalez, and the Rockies have the lead.
This time it's a changeup over there near the feet of Gerardo Parra. Jeff Mathis does everything he can possibly do to try to get in front, but it gets far enough away that another run scores and the Rockies take the lead.
Second 9th inning meltdown this week for the D-back closer. And he's still got to get Parra here with Reynolds at third. And there's the strikeout. Parra punches out for the 4th time, but the Rockies get 3. They lead it 7-6. the 9th inning after a 3-run Colorado ninth. The Rockies got 3 runs with just 2 base hits against Fernando Rodney, who walked 2 and uncorked a couple of wild pitches. Here's Greg Holland, who has had a brilliant season so far as a Colorado Rocky. He got his 10th save of the season last night when he threw 12 pitches in the 9th inning. A 1.64 ERA. David Peralta will bat for the pitcher Rodney to lead off the 9th, and then behind him it's Pollock and Owens.
We saw Holland in the ball game last night. One of the filthiest sliders in baseball. Tom Candiotti on the radio side, I heard him post game last night comparing him to Brad Lidge. Some of the fans may remember Brad Lidge in his time with the Phillies and the Astros. Had a wipeout slider that went straight down to the ground, very similar to the one that Greg Holland throws.
Well, Holland was a very good closer, had very serious arm problem, but he's back with Colorado now, and he has looked tremendous. Peralta leads off the home half of the 9th. Base hit. Tying runs aboard. The freight train's on the tracks.
Well, that's one way to avoid that nasty slider. Hit the first fastball you see. David has done this so well this season.
Going the other way.
Yeah, and hitting it hard the other way, not just blooping him out there or rolling him through the left side, hitting line drives to left and left center.
That's his 15th hit on this homestand. He is the tying run. Nobody out. A.J. Pollock singled in the first. He's 1 for 4. Fastball is up. It's 1-0. You like doing anything at all here, or just swing away?
Well, conventional wisdom tells you to play for the tie at home and the win on the road, but the hitters the Diamondbacks have coming to the plate, I don't like to give up any outs. Yeah. Go ahead and swing away.
And we know Torey Lovullo guards those 27 outs above all things. Those are the most precious commodities he's got. AJ's ahead 2-1. That was the Holland slider that missed.
And the slider coming here.
Peralta holds it first. AJ drives it to center, but right at Blackman. No way. Boy, that run that the Diamondbacks left standing at third base in the 8th inning really coming back to haunt them now. Tomas hit a ball to right field that Gonzalez dropped. He wound up on third to lead off that inning, but Hazelbaker came in a pinch run, was left stranded at third. CO singled and scored in the 3rd. He's 1 for 4. Been a big homestand for Chris Owings. 9 games counting tonight. He's had 11 hits, 13 RBIs, 3 home runs. Trying to find a gap for the freight train. Big cut at that one, the slider, and it's 1-1.
Boy, it is such a downer of a slider. Most guys have some lateral movement on that pitch away from the right-handed hitter. His goes straight down, almost looks like a hard split finger.
Greinke's can be the same way sometimes.
Yeah.
Drop that one in there for a strike. Doubled up on the slider. It's 1-2. Goldie on deck. Peralta heads for second. Walters has no throw. Tying runs in scoring position.
Oh, what a good read by David down there at first base. Walters did a nice job of just backhanding that ball, keeping it in front, but it got far enough away that David, with that great jump at first base, is able to advance on to second.
Single can tie the ball game. One out, 2-2 on Chris Owings. Slider missed, and it's 3-2. Was very efficient last night. Got Peralta to ground out. Iron netted a fly out. He struck out Descalso on 12 pitches. Three balls and 2 strikes. Left field, Parra makes a spectacular catch. Gerardo Parra. And Peralta has to stay put. A 2-time Gold Glover in this ballpark, and he may have just saved the ball game for Colorado.
Not an easy play by any stretch of the imagination. That ball hooking and sinking out there. Parra. We've seen him do that many, many times as a member of the Diamondbacks. Not so much fun to watch him do it as a member of the Rockies.
Well, if you're Bud Black, how do you play this? You got first base open. I know you don't want to put the winning runs on, but it's Paul Goldschmidt. You got Lamb on deck.
Well, Goldie doesn't appear to be worried about it.
No, not at all. Peralta at second with 2 outs. Goldie has walked twice tonight. He scored a run, 0 for 2.
Tony Walters had second thoughts right there. Holland shook to a fastball away, and before he could get up into his stretch position, Tony Walters asked for timeout behind home plate. He wasn't so sure about that pitch.
Fastball's a strike. It's 1-1. Late on a fastball. 1-2.
Holland trying to take the air out of the ball right here. Really taking a lot of time between pitches.
Got him. Diamondbacks get the tying run in scoring position, but can't get them home. And the Rockies, with 3 in the 9th, have clinched a series win. They win this one 7-6. And now the question becomes, do the Diamondbacks have a closer problem?
Well, they have a closer problem the last 2 appearances for Fernando Rodney. That slider just off the outside corner below the knees, but they get the call from home plate umpire Mike Estabrook. Yeah, certainly is a question that needs to be answered the way Archie Bradley's been pitching out of the bullpen. Of course, Archie could possibly part of the equation in the starting rotation, so we'll have to see what shakes out.
Last time Fernando Rodney had blown saves in back-to-back appearances was August of 2013. But he's had a couple of ugly ones on this homestand, and the Diamondbacks will try and salvage the series finale with the roof open here tomorrow afternoon. Patrick Corbin gets the baseball. Let's start Diamondback Live post-game show. Jody, a lot to talk about here.
Certainly there is, Steve, and yes, we will have it all for you during our postgame. It is coming up. Jody Jackson, Mark Grace here, and we'll have Bob Brenly join us. Kate Longworth will have reaction from the clubhouse, but you know what? It is devastating. Maybe nothing more demoralizing in baseball than when your closer can't close it out. 2-run lead going into the 9th. How tough is this one?
Yeah, you could see the frustration on A.J. Pollock there. He was upset with the strike 3 call, but I think he was frustrated with a lot more than that strike 3 call. That's back-to-back really ugly outings from your closer Fernando Rodney, and you know whether Torey Lovullo likes it or not, he's going to get those questions all night long. All
right, he's already getting them. There will be more tonight for sure. In fact, I'm pretty sure that will be the first question posed to the manager.
Deservedly so.
We will have Torey Lovullo's post-game press conference coming your way. We'll have all the reaction from the clubhouse. Rockies win it with a 3-run 9th, 7-6. Post-game coming up.